Hey guys, what up? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that junk. This is another Christmas one. Ben's, I guess, was also a Christmas one, but this is another one, the Christmas Extravaganza, episode 30. Holy shit, we're here, 30. It's crazy. Never thought I'd stick it out and do a thing for this long, but here we are. And we got Jason back. It was also fucking great. This was also amazing. Big fan. It's always good to talk to him. He's a good guy. And we just fucking really just talked about a whole bunch of cool shit. Got real in there. There's a really good Star Wars conversation. This one. It's also spoilery, much like the one I did with Ben. But I'm a little bit more level-headed in this one. I'm not getting fucking dramatic. If there's one thing I've learned from listening back on me for over 30 episodes on the show, is I'm very dramatic. So it's a better, like, more civil conversation towards Star Wars. And this is a really good one. The Ben episode is very quiet, and I do know that I fucked up somewhere along the lines. It's just funny too, because in that intro it was like, there's an industry standard on how things should sound, but I don't know what it is, and I clearly have no idea what I'm fucking talking about. So so whatever that. I'll see if I can. I don't know if it's worth re-uploading at this point, but yeah, I'm aware of that. My bad. This one's really good, and we got some other great ones coming up. Look forward to that. Yeah, with this one, it was great racing now with Jason. Good talks. Another great one in the books for this one, and 30 episodes, pretty crazy. So enjoy this holiday extravaganza.
Did you get more wood? Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome. Episode 30.
Episode 30.
Fucking Jason's back. How's it going?
It is going. Glad to be back in the studio for episode 30. Congratulations.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks. I'm glad you're back. I don't know. You didn't listen to John Bowman one, did you?
Yeah, I listened to parts of the John Bowman one. I listened to parts, actually, a lot of them, actually.
Okay.
Just if I don't have a lot going on, see you post a new one, I just like scroll through the segments and see what, whether I have an opinion about it or it's just something, I don't know much about that. And,
okay, cool. Yeah, he's a big fan of you. And
really?
he liked that episode a lot, yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it.
So,
I was glad to help out with the Fairly Odd Parents info when it came to that.
I did not put that in the corrections. I should have. Yes, you're right.
No worries. Glad I could help.
So, how have you been? Just came back from college?
I've been good, yeah. I just had a pretty solid semester, 3.5 something, which is my best semester ever. Yeah, officially on the dean's list.
Fantastic.
Emily was on the dean's list for like every semester ever in college, but I'll settle for just once.
Hey, it's more than I ever got. More than I even came close. So.
Yeah, and going into the last one, it's definitely weird.
Oh yeah.
Last semester, not sure what's after that, so
it's a lot of. It just never stops getting confusing.
I'm pretty nervous, just like with the unknown, just not knowing what city I'm gonna be in, or just anything, like where I'm gonna be working, or
that's crazy.
It's all up in the air.
Do you have stuff lined up?
Yeah, I'm gonna. So Nickelodeon and other companies like that have writing programs.
No shit.
You submit a script, and then you can basically shelter the writers of the company for a year.
No shit.
And the pay's okay, but you get to be in the thick of it.
Yeah, you're working at a cool place.
Yeah, and I think one of the companies was 90% of them end up working on a show the next year if you finish the program. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think
what was that one?
That might have been Nickelodeon.
Okay.
The script is due at the end of January, so I've been working on that for a little bit.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. They have a list of shows that you can write an episode for.
Oh, you should write a specific show's episode.
Yeah, so
cool.
It was a giant list you could choose from, and I haven't seen the past year and a half of New Girl, but I know the characters well. I had watched the first 5 or 6 seasons, whatever it was, and yeah, I've been working on an episode of New Girl for the past month and a half.
That's so cool.
It's fun because that's the writing I really enjoy.
Okay,
and it's looking like I'm going to finish it because I honestly don't finish much of what I start.
I never do. This is the first time this show is the first time I ever finished something I started.
Yeah, congratulations on that. And New Girl, when I finish this episode, will be the first thing I've ever finished.
That's awesome.
Because in my year off of school, I started so many screenplays. And
don't we all?
Yeah, some of them I'd get to like 50 pages, but that's still like half a movie.
Right, yeah.
And others I'd get like 3 pages and not even like a script, more like a synopsis or like an outline.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm all over the place. I have so many ideas. Like this morning, I had another idea. I was like, and I text myself the idea. I was like, I'll probably write 5 pages of that like in a week or two and like never get back to it.
That's I mean, it's good. It's better than, I mean, sometimes I've woken up like twice and like written like a page of a script. I'm like, all right, cool. I go to bed. I'm like, I've never seen that again. Like that's gone forever.
And the funny ones are like in like, you know, when you kind of wake up but not really, and then you like don't remember that dream.
Yeah.
Because like some dreams stick with you, but there are dreams and you just like wake up, you're like, and then you remember it. You go back to sleep and you don't.
Yeah.
One of those dreams I texted myself and it was like broken English. And it had to do with like some DC Comics characters, and then like I put together what I was saying. It was like, wow, I do not like fully remember this. It was like something about a clone of Superboy, and like you watched Young Justice.
Yeah,
right? You remember like the Reach?
Yeah,
like the Beetle people. So
good.
They like sold they like as if it was a real thing, not just in my head or a dream. So they sold Superboy to like the Reach, and he came back, except you know how Superboy didn't have all of Superman's powers?
Yeah.
So he comes back with all Superman's powers, but he's pissed that they got rid of him. So they're like, what are we going to do? They're like, we're going to clone him again. And then like it's Superboy pissed at them for selling him. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but and then they clone him again, and then it's just like an all-out like Superboy war.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was just... Young Justice hadn't been on in like years, so I was just surprised. And like I wasn't watching Young Justice like before going to bed or anything.
Yeah,
I was just like, why was that a dream of mine?
Well, there's some crazy shit that goes on in comics. That's probably something that could work. Like, you just gotta fucking refine it and then just keep pushing for it. Like, that's the crazy thing about comics. It's just they're all so ridiculous.
I mean, there's so many writers for each character. Like, you can come out with a Superman graphic novel and you'll be like one of, I don't even know the number of how many people officially through DC write for Superman each year. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, yeah. And sometimes they only get, like, here's, like, you do 4 issues of something, you know, and you just write for a little bit, yeah. I've been listening to a lot more of Max Landis.
Okay, yeah, love Max Landis, yeah.
But, yeah, like, because he writes comics occasionally, and, like, but, like, yeah, like, I was talking about some of his writing process, like, yeah, I just have fucking books of stupid ideas. They go somewhere. I'm
getting to that point.
Yeah,
it's all the ideas that I write down.
You just write them down. You maybe do 50 pages, and you're like, well, this sucks. You just put them on. It's like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. But like, where he's at now, he's just always writing. It's so crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy. Like, I was listening to a podcast he was on, and they were like, yeah, you're always working. Like you got here and you're like, hang on, I got to finish the script, and just sat down and wrote until it was time to go on for the show. And, like, he's just constantly working on stuff.
That's something he says, his work ethic. He is unlike any writer in, like, how his turnover is just insane.
Yeah. No, because, wasn't it, like, he's like, it was, like, 3 scripts or something right away. Like, sold, like, 3 scripts or something really fast, like, right when he started.
Well, he sold Chronicle, and then...
Like, one of his first few, like, he just, like, he's, like, right away was already, like, set. He was, like, none of them got made, too. I think Chronicle was the only one that, like...
Okay, yeah.
I want to say he just sold like 3, the 2 didn't, and then Chronicle was one of them. That one got made, but like he just sells scripts, like none of them get made.
I mean, and Bright coming out on Netflix, that's his script, and that was like a big run he had. He sold like a few scripts in a row for like millions of dollars.
So crazy.
He just made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it's so nuts. Because like, what was it? He was saying on that one that like Chronicle was the only thing he wrote that was 100% what he wrote.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
Yeah, and like a lot of the stuff that has his name on it, like has nothing to do with him. Like the
I Frankenstein.
Yeah,
it's
like
nothing like his script.
No, it's not, and like it's so weird. But like he'll still get the credit. He'll still get paid for the script that he wrote.
And people like not that I'm like informed about the film industry, but I am in a sense of knowing that the script is just like the first version of the movie, and there's like an infinite amount of versions, different versions of the script. Like the director adds his take, and there's so many moving parts that. You can get like a credit for writing a movie, and it could be like 10% of what you did.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
It's weird in a sense, because like I don't think I could get used to that right now, of that lack of not necessarily attachment, but knowing you're throwing this something you created, you're throwing it out there for just people to interpret it their way, and then people are gonna think that that's how you interpreted it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that's just a weird thing that I think writers have to get over if they want to be in the film industry.
Right, yeah. That nothing is going to be
as you say. Like a lot of people I've talked to about Max Landis, like, oh, I really like him. They're like, doesn't he write crap? I'm like, well, no. It's just like he gets stuck a lot with this. Like he's really good at what he does. And it's like, oh, okay. So like, yeah, so he sometimes gets like labeled as like a bad writer because stuff like that happens where it's like, this is not his vision. It's not what he thought, but like that's fucking, I mean, it's cool that you're getting into that. That's really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Did you learn how to like write scripts? Did you like take a class to talk you the formatting?
No, I'm actually taking my first like screenwriting class next semester.
Okay.
But it was just something I was always interested in. I loved writing since I don't know, like how long let me see. Okay, the first thing I ever wrote was like a Marvel DC crossover when I was in like 9th grade, the summer after 9th grade, and I just couldn't get enough of it.
That's awesome.
Like it wasn't like an official, like, you know, with scene directions and all that crap. It was just like dialogue, and I would like describe the action of what was happening, like the fights. And that feeling, I just wanted to like keep doing that, and I actually like stepped away from it like that. I still have the pages though from like going on 7 years now. I still have that somewhere in my room. But that's when I knew that, okay, I want to keep doing this. But I put it on the back burner when I was like looking into college. Like, oh, I should probably make money, so I'll go into business.
Right.
And then I just all of a sudden one day when I was thinking about going back to school, I was like, why don't I start writing again? Like I found the pages. I was like, why don't I start doing this again? And that's why I was like, let's just do journalism. That's writing, and I don't necessarily have to do that, but I know I enjoy this activity so much, and why not pursue that in any means and see what sticks when I get to the working world.
That's actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool that you had that little moment of just like, because like I was just talking to someone who's going to be on the show soon. I don't even really know her that well. That's why it makes it so weird. But like we had like randomly gotten a thing, and then they were like, we were making small talk, whatever. And I was like, oh, well, these podcasts I listen to, like I found out a couple of them were rappers before. And she had misheard me and thought I said I had a podcast. And I was like, well, no. And then after driving home from there, I was like, what if I had a different answer? Like, why don't I have, like, I like this medium a lot. Why don't I just, and like, it's weird that like that weird, like mishearing has like sent me down another, like, it's a weird moment that like, well, you know, like that realization of like, yeah, why don't I do love writing? Like, why am I not doing this?
Yeah,
like, there's a thing I've always liked. But like, you never think about that thing you like. I'll just make it. I'll do it myself as well. And it's cool that you had that like realization that like, in like a tangible thing you can actually have to like, if you do make it, be like, this is the first thing that like, this is the thing that resparked this entire journey for me. Like, that's so fucking cool.
It was definitely funny to just look back and know like the different directions that the characters are in now. Because like, this was 2010, so very early stages of like the MCU, and like I didn't know about the Guardians, but I knew that I kind of wanted Rocket Raccoon to be in it, and like now everyone knows who Rocket Raccoon is, but I like barely knew who Rocket was. I knew he was a character and he was like interesting. So because like one part of it, the DC characters get to the Marvel world where like the main I don't want to like get into like I don't want to waste your time, but
no, that's fine.
So they get to the Marvel world where like the main fighting has been happening for a while.
Okay.
Like even though like some of the heroes got taken to the Marvel world, like Superman and Shazam.
How does that crossover happen? Like, what's the catalyst that makes that?
It starts off, they're in like LexCorp, and Luthor's telling the story of how the Justice League defeated Darkseid one day. It's like, you know, they won again. This is like very loosely like what he said. He's like, they won again. I was sick of it, and that's when I decided to look elsewhere. And it goes into like, do you ever watch the Justice League cartoon?
I've watched bits of it, not all of it.
In that, in the cartoon, they go to different worlds sometimes. One world, like Superman killed Lex Luthor, and they're evil. They're called the Justice Lords.
Okay.
Another world they go to is basically like a nuclear wasteland, and this kid who got like mind-altering powers recreated this like 1950s world where filled with superheroes like the Justice Guild.
Okay.
Who are these heroes and like, you know, like onomatopoeia, like wow, bam, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And then they realize the world is a creation of this kid, and so they have to destroy him. And then obviously it's like pretty sad because Green Lantern knows these heroes as the comic book characters of like the DC world. He's like, you can't take this away from me. When Hawkgirl shows them the graves of the real Justice Guild who died in like the nuclear war, so they have to destroy this kid, and then like it's clear that once the kid's destroyed, this bright city fades away and you see like the ashes and like what actually happened and what the world really is.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's like the show is so good.
That's
like,
a really
yeah,
good.
If you ever get a chance, like watch.
I've been
that
really
show.
thinking about rewatching all of that like DC show universe because I just found out that the Batman anime series is on Amazon Prime.
Oh, sick.
So I was like, maybe I should actually like watch all of this because I remember liking all of it as a kid, but like I never watched all of it. And there's like a timeline that they all like line up with. And they play with
fits
each other
perfectly.
Yeah,
over like what 14 years from like
something like
Batman through Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah,
It's great show. So, yeah. So anyway, that's another world they go to. So I use like that concept of they know other worlds are out there. This is basically like set in like the DC animated universe. And Luthor uses this technology to look into other worlds. He does this for a long time, trying to find villains comparable to him that he can utilize to take down the Justice League for good. And he comes across Dr. Doom. And he gets to know Dr. Doom well, and then he realizes what he stumbled upon, a world filled with supervillains, comparable to DC's world, and if not, like, greater villains. And he decides to put together, basically, this team filled with supervillains of Marvel and DC, and they meet in the DC world. It's only, like, him... Let's see, who else? Okay, so they meet in the DC world. They just bring Dr. Doom, though, and they gather, like, all the DC villains. And it's this machine that they're using to bring all the supervillains to the Marvel world is emitting, like, this great amount of energy in Greenland. The Justice League sees this. They head down there. Massive fight. Probably my favorite moment of writing so far, I think back, was me writing the fight of just all these heroes and villains and like each action. Like I didn't say this might have, and like it wasn't like subtle. Like every punch, everything that happened, cool. I wrote down in like specific detail, and it ends with like they set off the machine, but like since they're fighting and doing all this, like it sets off basically like an implosion, sending them to the Marvel world, and Batman and Flash like are sent flying. So like Superman basically saves them and like throws them out, and like they're the only ones left. And then Batman and Flash are like, we have to figure out. We can swear, right?
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck just happened? And then they analyze like Dr. Doom, and they do what like Luthor did, except in like a faster pace, like through like surveillance footage instead of like physically going to these worlds. And they realize like where they went. It's like, we have to go. And they get there. Is this interesting?
I'm fucking compelled to shit.
So, and another aspect was Brainiac was working with Lex Luthor again, and they were using like mind control tech to like implant into the DC heroes. So that'll come into play in a sense that when the DC heroes get there, like Batman and this like second unit of these DC heroes gets it, they're like, oh, we're with, and they tell them who they're with, and like, what do you mean? They're gonna use the DC heroes they use to mind control to basically rip apart the fucking world. Like straight up like murder heroes, like Superman's gonna destroy so many people. So it's in a sense like Civil War. In the movie Civil War 2, like Iron Man can't let go that Winter Soldier murdered his parents. Like Steve can say all he wants that it wasn't him, Hydra mind controlled him, but people are still dead and they can't get over that. So that's the fight that happens when they get there. Because in a sense, like Superman basically he did save them, but he also didn't, because he was under mind control and he like punched them, and like they were both knocked out when they got like flown out of the like this warehouse building, and Batman could like barely see out of the corner of his eye, like just the implosion of energy, and like they're all gone. So they get there, and it's like, what do you mean you're with Superman? Like I don't have an exact list of like who was dead. Like no one really like that important, but like these X-Men are dead, these heroes are dead, and like these supporting characters are dead. And it's like an all, well, they're like a resistance. Everyone has like a black and gray like uniform. Like Captain America's like got this black and gray suit, and people are in like an ICU, and it's basically think of like the Brawlers, and that's who's running this resistance. Deadpool, Wolverine,
cool.
Captain America, and Winter Soldier. He's good now, and Gambit, like all these just like badasses who are basically just trying to keep their world together. It's been torn apart by first this wave of DC heroes, and then the villains to step up and finish the job. So their world is in complete disarray, martial law, everything's fallen, and yeah. So they fight for a while, like the DC heroes once they get there in the Marvel like resistance, until they finally come to terms with, yes, we know that Superman and like our friends and these heroes, they killed your people, and we will never be able to like make up for that, but you have to realize that this isn't them, and we are only delaying, or I guess what's a better word, we are only letting their like power here solidify by not like joining together and trying to like free these heroes. And basically like the adventure kicks off from there, and yeah, you'll get like Hulk versus Superman as they're trying to like get the mind control thing out of Superman. You get all these like cool fights that have never happened, because like obviously people have such like strong opinions like this. There could never be like a physical crossover, just because you know, you're working with different companies. People have so many opinions of like why certain people should win over like the same fight too. Like 10 people tell you Superman will win, and like 10 people tell you Hulk would win. And yeah, it's so much fun. I would hope I could finish that one day, but there's a lot of like moving parts.
I can imagine, but it sounds really cool. And you're actually doing cool things with the fights, like the Hulk Superman one. Regardless of who would win that fight, the objective on Hulk's end is not to kill him.
No, not at all. Yeah.
So it's not even like, it's not necessarily a raw strength thing and raw skill thing. You're setting up a situation where, yeah, he could win that battle.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not, the goal in that fight is not, I'm going to kill Superman. It's not like a battle to the death or whatever. It's just, Hulk's got an objective, and then if he can't make it happen, he can leave. Like, it's like, whatever. That's a smart way to handle that, where it's like, there's really no way, like, you could like argue like, oh, this guy would totally win that fight, because it's like, that's cool. That's smart to do it like that way. You go that direction.
Yeah, because they get there and they like imprison Banner so he can't become the Hulk. So like Superman Hulk doesn't happen while Superman's killing all these people. It happens after the fact, where Bruce Banner knows that Superman's actually a good guy, and that's when like that like there's basically like two waves of fights. Fights when DC is like fucking everyone up, and then the fights of like Marvel and DC together trying to destroy like these two groups of villains. So sorry to like do a little segue there, but
no, that's super fucking cool. And I wouldn't give up on writing that either for you, because like, even if it just becomes like a comic, like the odds at this point that Disney actually buys DC seems high.
I mean, they're rolling now.
They're rolling and just fucking dropping fucking loads of cash to buy fucking whatever. So if that was like, I would have never thought Fox would be bought by DC at this time, but like fucking happened. So, you know, even if that's just like a thing that sits in a closet finished, just waiting for that fucking opportunity to actually do that, like that's a pretty fucking cool, that's a cool like narrative. That's a cool idea for that whole thing. Yeah,
thank you. It's it started all for me really when it came to all these like what seems limitless now, like screenplay ideas that whether they like vary in amount of like what I've done with them. But yeah, it all started with that.
That's super cool. That's a really cool fucking starting point.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, thank you. So figured, what do you want to get into now? Should we talk about Star Wars?
Do you want to start about Star Wars?
Yeah, let's talk about Star Wars.
All right, let's do Star Wars. I guess we'll start. What did you think?
Okay, so I saw it last night.
We'll get into spoilers here too.
Yes, spoiler alert for you listeners out there. I will say it was a weird feeling going into it where I never got excited. Like, Star Wars isn't my favorite thing. I like it a decent amount, like when the movies come out. Like once this trilogy ends, well, now since Disney owns it, like they're gonna keep making movies.
Right, yeah.
But like once Revenge of the Sith came out, I was like, well, you know, that's it.
Right.
Like I didn't think about it besides like playing Battlefront 2 every now and again.
Yep.
And so when they announced Force Awakens was coming out, I'm like, I gotta rewatch these movies. Because Matt and I remember liking the prequels when...
a lot of people our age do.
Yeah, so like Mike and like Taylor Jarvis would like shit on them at lunch, and like Matt and I hadn't seen these movies in years, so it's like I honestly don't know, but I remember like really enjoying them. Like I remember still going to Phantom Menace and just loving that movie. Like was it 99? Just having a great time there. So freshman year of college, I rewatched them all, and I still liked the prequels.
Okay.
Like Qui-Gon Jinn is still my favorite character, maybe because that's my first experience like with Star Wars, and like one of my first probably like big like blockbuster experiences at the movies, like being only like 4 years old.
Did you watch them in chronological order or release order?
So release order, I think, in a sense, because Phantom Menace, Clones, and maybe in between that period.
No, I mean, did you watch the original trilogy before you watched the prequels, or did you watch the prequels first, then go into the original trilogy?
Okay, like freshman year of college, like when I watched them.
No, when you first did.
Oh, yeah, so episode 1 was the first one. 2, I think, was my second one.
Okay.
And then, yeah, my dad, like, we would talk about the original trilogy, and I would always question, like, where's Mark Hamill? Because, like, I knew Harrison Ford, like, from the beginning. I knew he was a big star. But I was like, what happened to this guy? And my dad said, like, he got in a car accident, like, was never the same, didn't act. But my dad doesn't really know much about the film industry. He didn't know, like, when I found out he was the Joker, that was such a crazy day. I was like, Luke Skywalker is the Joker. And he's, like, the definitive Joker.
He's the best Joker.
Like, people who do Joker in animation now, they try to do their Mark Hamill impression.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so I watched the prequels, and like somewhere probably between 2 and 3, my dad showed me the original trilogy.
Okay.
Which I liked. I liked a lot. And but it didn't compare to like my feelings of the prequels. Like I remember my brother and I being so excited, like at the end of Attack of the Clones, and like they had that Jedi fight in like the stadium, like a shit ton of Jedi, just everyone's fucking shit up, and like Mace Windu kills Jango Fett, and it's like a big fucking deal. And of course, like, how do they finish this? How do they bridge the original trilogy and the prequels? And I was just so excited for Revenge of the Sith. Like, is Boba Fett gonna take revenge on Mace Windu and kill him? Like, obviously Mace Windu had to go away because we had all these characters that weren't in, like, New Hope.
Right.
And yeah, so once Revenge of the Sith, like, came out, I was like, I did not really think about Star Wars that much. And then, like, obviously freshman year of college, I got that excitement again. I was like, all right, I'm pretty pumped for this movie now. And then, like, Force Awakens came out, I was like, okay. Again, like, Star Wars is not my favorite thing, so I don't have the, like, typical, like, Star Wars fandom that a lot of people have.
Right.
In a sense. I think some people do because I, like, know characters' names.
Yeah, but I also think Star Wars is a unique thing because, like Ben is not, like, a nerdy person. Like, he's nerdy with his, like, the Muppets and shit. Let's all that shit off. But he knows names of planets. He knows names of races. And it's, like, I think Star Wars is in a unique atmosphere where, like, it's very common for like a normal person to know what Tatooine is. If I say that, they're not gonna know exactly what that looks like, exactly what they might even know Mos Eisley by name. Like it's in its own place. It's like the zeitgeist is like allowed for like this extended universe, these details to just be commonplace, Yeah. And so I think it's I think it's not like I don't know. I continue. I'm just kidding.
So, like when like, I obviously know, like, the prequels characters the best. Like, I know, like, Kid Adi-Mundi and Ayla Secura, like, those people on, like, the Jedi Council. And, like, when people hear me say those names, they're like, wow, your Star Wars must be, like, your favorite thing. And,
right,
like, complete Star Wars. Not that it's a bad thing to be a Star Wars fan. I'm just not. I just know the names.
I just think it's, like, it's so commonplace. I think it's not abnormal for someone to know names of shit.
So, yeah, so Star Wars, not my favorite thing, but like Force Awakens, I thought it was okay. Like, it didn't blow me away. I didn't hate it. And when the trailer came out for this one, I was like, oh, I was actually like really excited. But then like after that, it kind of like mellowed down, and I like had no real feelings about it till like the opening titles. Yeah. Like when that John Williams music hit, I was like, okay, now I'm pumped. Like, cool. Let's go. And yeah, walking out, I was like, that was okay.
Okay.
But let's hear. You can take over, and then like I'll come back.
So, for my history with the series, I've never gone over this at the show, so I probably should now. I'm a unique case where I grew up with the original trilogy.
Okay.
I am a little bit older than you, so like I can remember when Phantom Menace like came out. I was a little bit older. I had the context of it, but we had a babysitter. Probably when I was between maybe ages 2 to 4. That might even be dramatic. And her kids were huge Star Wars fans. So I've seen the original cuts, and that's what I grew up on. And I also saw, like, she showed me, like, Willy Wonka and, like, weird things that were, like, older that, like, I saw at a very young age. And she kind of, like, without trying, crafted, like, my pop culture, like, entity.
Okay.
So I grew up very fond of the original trilogy. And then when we had our own versions of it, we had the second release or whatever. Actually, that VHS box behind you, that is a thing Mike found in the city, or not city, Vegas. And it's
oh, okay. Yeah.
It's the original cuts, the very last release of the original cuts.
Oh, wow.
I just haven't opened it because I don't want to damage them.
Yeah.
But so that's why I have 3 posters on the wall. I love those original 3 movies. They mean an incredible amount to me. I really enjoyed them, all that kind of stuff. And so when the prequels came out, I didn't hate them. The only one I really hated as a kid was Revenge of the Sith, because it took me 3 or 4 times to watch it all the way through without falling asleep. Yeah. I was so bored with Revenge of the Sith when I was a kid. which is weird because I never fall asleep in movies. Even today, when I fall asleep in a movie, I find that incredibly like disturbing. I'm like, something's wrong with this movie. I should not be asleep in this movie because I enjoy movies so much. You know, I don't walk out of movies. When I go to see a movie, I go to movies mostly by myself. Try to go to theaters when they're as quiet as possible. Like I want to just, if I could pay extra, I would just go sit in a theater. You know, like I like movies a lot.
Yeah, just not to butt in,
No, go
but
ahead,
I like the experience of being in the theater.
I love it.
People bring up like the $100 to be at home. I don't like that at all.
No, I would pay $100 to be in the theater by myself.
Like Christopher Nolan, like comes to the defense of going to the theater, and I love him for that because the overall experience, you know, just getting in your seat and like just that wide screen and like the people around you that you don't know, like I don't want them sitting next to me, but just like
exactly,
around, like I think it just makes the movie experience so much better.
I love it so much more. It is my absolute favorite thing. So I had a lot of problems with Revenge of the Sith as a kid. I love Attack of the Clones as a kid. I don't know why. I don't know what it was that like I couldn't put into words as a child why I liked it so much, but it was my favorite like prequel movie for a long time. It wasn't until I went to college that I found out like people have very like negative opinions towards Attack of the Clones, and I was like, that's weird. I don't remember it being that bad. I remember parts of the Phantom Menace being pretty bad, like pod racing and all that kind of stuff. Metachlorians being kind of a weird concept, and then never liking Revenge of the Sith. And so I, went to go see Force Awakens. I'm like, this is great. I'm having a great time. This is fun. Sure, it's a lot like A New Hope, but A New Hope's the best movie out of all of them, so that must be, that's a good thing, And I don't really care, like, oh, they made another Death Star. It's like, I mean, that's the whole original trilogy. They're trying to, like, they make a Death Star, they destroy it, and they're trying to make another one. Like,
it's Star Wars.
Yeah, the plan of the Empire, they're like, when they they sit down for a board meeting, it's like, make giant death thing, go, where do we go to lunch? Like, that's their priorities is make Death Bot. So I wasn't like super like, oh, whatever, but I enjoyed my time with it. I soured on it a little because I didn't like Jurassic World because it did so much of like, hey, look at that thing from the first movie. You saw the first movie.
Not to butt in again, but Jurassic World 2, I do not like that trailer at all. I think it looks very uninteresting.
I was interested in the first one, but like as a child, I loved Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And then what ended up happening was Mike, Ben, and I, we have a van with a DVD player, and we were on some trip that was kind of long. So we're like, oh, let's bring all the Jurassic Park movies. We'll watch them all again. We all love them as kids. We put in the first one. We finished it. We all just look around and go, that was awful, right? And they're like, yeah, that was fucking terrible. I'm like, all right, yeah, I don't think we're going to watch any of these ever again. So I am completely against Jurassic Park, but I was like, all right, I'll give Jurassic World a shot. Gave it a shot. I'm like, this is terrible. It's the same shit. And then a lot of just like, hey, look at that. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. There's the Jeep from the first one. Hey, the sign. Oh, the T-Rex. Like, I get it. And so once I kind of thought, I stepped back and I was like, all right, emotionally, I think Force Awakens is great. I had a great time, but it structurally is doing the same shit that I'm saying bad things about Jurassic World for. So maybe I shouldn't, as an objective standpoint,
give Star Wars a pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So objectively, I'm not gonna say The Force Awakens is amazing, but emotionally, I enjoyed it a lot. Fell asleep during Rogue One.
Really?
The first two acts are so boring.
I can see that. I think it has a great finish, though.
That's why I think a lot of people, when they say they like Rogue One, they like the third act. They like that battle on, I forget the name of the planet, but the beach.
Scarif? Is that
yes,
it? Okay.
Scarif. So they like that battle. They like the Darth Vader stuff. That's the part they like. The part where what really hit that movie like negatively for me was in the very beginning, the little girl watches her parents die, and then she just goes sits in a hole, and she's like, I'm in a hole. I don't like being in a hole. And she's not like emotional. Like, I just watched mom. Like, the kid actor was so bad. It like right out of the gate took me out of it, and I was like, all right, whatever. And then it's just a lot of talking, a lot of planning, and like I was actually watching, to go on a tangent, Star Wars related, a video on Ken MacGuffin's work in film.
Okay.
And one of the points he made in this was the reason the MacGuffin in New Hope works so well, the Death Star plans, is because George Lucas attached them to something we care about, R2-D2. So for 2/3 of the movie, we're concerned about the MacGuffin's safety because the MacGuffin is R2-D2, a character we like. So then in Rogue One, the MacGuffin is the Death Star plans, but there's nothing attached to it. It's just an ambiguous the Death Star plans, and it makes it harder to be like, yeah, let's go. I can't with this adventure. It's so fun because it's not an adventure. It's like it's a distant concept. It's this thing that everyone wants, but we know about it from the past and all that stuff. We can make connections, but there's nothing to ground it for us, which R2-D2 did. So Rogue One, whatever. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think the first two acts are weak and they're kind of slow, and the kid actor sucks dick. Then we get the Last Jedi. was pretty pumped. Avoided all trailers. I was like, I'm just going to see this movie. I don't need trailers to convince me to see this movie. I'm going to see it anyway. Super excited. Buy tickets in October, months out. Like, oh, let's go. So I go. I start it. Immediately, with Poe being like a snarky, like, it's hitting the Marvel notes that I don't feel like Star Wars should, where it's trying to be funny. And like the example I keep coming back to in terms of humor is when Luke is teaching Rey the Force, and she's like, "Oh, I feel it," and he's like touching with the reed, and he hits her and all that stuff. And he's like, "Oh, you were kidding." Like that, like weird sarcastic way, like tone, doesn't fit the space opera narrative I have in my head that Star Wars is, where it's a lot more serious. Yeah, there are funny moments. The droids are hilarious, and that's where it really hit me was, Poe is being funny, and like other stuff. People are joking around. They're making that like. There's no, everyone's being goofy, and I was like, this is bullshit. And then C-3PO said something funny, I'm like, that's hilarious. I'm like, oh, I like when the droids are funny. The droids are the clowns for this. They're the comic relief. They're goofy. When they do it, it's fine. When everyone else does it, it's starting to really get annoying. Like when Han Solo is being funny in the original trilogy, he's also being a crazy asshole. Like, he's not being, like, nice and cheeky about it. He's like, no, I'm just going to be kind of mean here, but, like, it's funny, like, in a morose kind of way.
Yeah, he's saying ridiculous stuff because he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, and
That's a good point.
He's still being mean about it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
when he's talking like Leia in Empire Strikes Back, like, he's making jokes the whole time he's about to leave, but he's like making jokes you'd make to a girlfriend you want to go away. He's being mean to her. He's like not saying, that's why she's like calling him names too, and he's like, he's basically saying like, oh, fuck you, I'm leaving. Like he's doing it in a charismatic way.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was really annoyed with the way, like, that whole opening scene where Poe is like, hey, I speak to the guy. Hey, can you get him? No, he's not there. I was like, what the fuck is this here for?
I was not. To me, it felt very forced.
It does feel very forced. It just doesn't make sense. To not completely dump on this movie, in long and short, I disliked Last Jedi. What I did like was visually. Right after that scene when they're fighting on the Dreadnought, and he shoots that last turret, he flies through the explosion, does a 180, then flies straight forward, 180 again, kills two guys, and then flies away. That was sick. All the color red is used so well. Snoke's layer looks dope. The guards are sick. When they're driving through the thing and the red smoke's kicking up, that looks awesome. But it's just so stupid. And then the one thing that fucking just ended it for me, much like the little girl being, a terrible actor, was fucking Space Leia. What the fuck was Space Leia?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Who thought that was okay? And then who was like, oh, she died in real life. Keep this shit in.
Because
no one stepped in and was like, this is dumb. And then when she died and she has a nice little exit that's emotional, nope, we're just going to keep it. We're going to bring her back. Like,
Sith, Jedi, whoever you are, I don't think you can use the Force like that.
No.
You're in space. It's not like just really
she
cold.
She was frozen.
Yeah.
She had ice on her.
Like, you should be dead if you're outside a spaceship just by yourself. After an explosion.
I was blown away. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was like, oh no, she died, and this is like they CG'd this as like a way to like make an emotional exit for her. This is so sad. Why is she moving? Why are her eyes open? What is she doing? Why is she flying through space? What? She's alive? What's happening? I don't understand. And like, it's not like she played a huge role after she came back.
No. Yeah.
She could have disappeared. They could have reshot some of those scenes. Like, the only kind of thing that was important, which was, I think, more their tip of the hat to her, was when Luke shows up and gives her the dice, which I don't remember ever being the Millennium Falcon. Were there ever those dice?
I don't know, to be honest.
I don't remember that ever being there, but they made it seem like this is this big thing that was this was Han, this meant Han, and I was like, I don't remember these objects ever, but okay. And like, I think, what did they say? It's like gone but never forgotten, something to that effect. And I think that was the actual, like, and they have the light coming through the back, and like Luke is like silhouetted but shadowed, and then she's all bright. I'm like, okay, this must be the way they're actually doing their send off. But we didn't need it. We had a moment that I was like, oh my god, they just killed Leia like that. Like,
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, okay, with the music paired and everything, that felt like a weird death.
It felt like a weird death, but then they start doing the thing in the space. I'm like, now I'm getting a little emotional. Oh, she's moving. All right. I guess this is a cartoon. I don't know what we're doing here.
Because there was no like music build to like typical deaths when it's like bang, like holy shit, react.
Yeah.
Like there was just, oh my god, Leia's dead.
Yeah.
And I like didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
And then she used the Force to fly back into the spaceship.
It was so much better because it was just like real life. I was like, Carrie Fisher's dead? No, that can't be right. Like, she's dead? And like, if they had like sat and like quiet and like let that literally sink in, you're like, fucking Princess Leia just died. And like died. Like, that was fucking like, And then every death after that, though, was like horseshit. I was like, yeah, fucking do went out like a bitch. Like Phasma's like, yeah, she went out like a bitch. Oh, Snoke went out like a bitch. Whatever. Like, I didn't care anymore because it doesn't matter. What is death? Death doesn't matter. Snoke, I thought was fucking Plagueis and like was the one guy to beat death. And it's like, oh, whatever. Fucking Leia just beat death. What does it matter? What's fucking death? Who gives a shit? Oh my god.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. It's just like the not understanding like what happened when like Leia died. Just that feeling of like, oh my god, Leia's dead.
Yeah.
Like that's what I had. And then when they showed her face and flying, and I was like, this feels weird. This feels off. And then I guess I'll get into it now. Luke, I would have, how do I put this? It was weird in a sense of like seeing where Luke was in his life in The Last Jedi. Seeing him, yes, he should be jaded because like the Jedi, like he tried to bring back the Jedi and it failed so miserably.
Yep.
But I don't know if I could see Luke putting down someone because he sees that they're going to cause so much pain in the future.
Yeah, I don't.
To me, that's something Han Solo could see. Not Han Solo doesn't have like the means, like the Force, to like do this. But if Han Solo saw into the future, someone was going to cause all this death. He's like, I have to take this person out.
Right.
Luke, I feel it just seems out of character for Luke to do that.
Luke is a far more wise character.
Yeah.
He thinks things through. I agree that him standing over
Ben
Kylo Ren,
Solo, yeah.
it's like, what? Like, so when they first did it, I was like, wow, that's fucking weird. And then they play Luke's perspective, and he's like concerned, but then like Kylo Ren read the situation wrong. I was like, okay. And then do it again. It's like, no, both were kind of right. And it's like I don't understand how you fucked that up too. Where it's like, oh no, Luke actually was going to murder this guy. Like, I was really hoping at first. They're like, no, he just misunderstood. He was standing over him with a hand out, and he was like, he's going to kill me. So he attacked, and he defended. But like,
I mean, Luke's lightsaber was out, and I understood it more after, thinking that, you know, Luke's not perfect, and he talked about, like, the shame, that he only had that thought for a second, and now I'm okay with it now, because that does make sense. If I saw, like, Matt was gonna cause, like, all this death,
right,
and it was gonna destroy so many lives, I'm like, I think for at least a second, I would be like, do I have to do something about this?
Right.
Like, do I... Like, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. It's like, if I... shout out to Matt, I would never kill you. But if I get rid of Matt here and save so many lives in the future, it's like, that would be something I would at least consider for a second. And Luke said he considered it for a second. So, it was weird at first, but I understand it now.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that his weapon was out.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't like. If he sat there and like it was just Kylo misunderstanding, and it was like, because the one thing I do like Kylo Ren a lot. I know he gets a lot of shit by people.
I like Kylo Ren a lot. I think he's a great character.
I think he's fucking really cool, and they're doing really cool stuff with him being a very powerful dark side user because he's very emotional and rash, and I think that's really cool. If he saw something, assumed the worst, and then fucking went all the way dark side, and I think that would have been way cooler than to be like, no, he has an out. Luke was potentially going to kill him. Like, he saw a weapon. Instead of just like, why is this old man standing above me? He's going to kill me. Like, assuming the worst immediately, and like letting that, like, the dark side tendencies that he was leaning towards, that Luke was like concerned with, completely take over. Like, that's his instinctual force path. And like, he just reacted and then, you know, became a dark side user. I think that'd been way better than both being wrong. No,
that the weapon is a great point. Like, even if he considered it for a second, he should not take out the lightsaber unless he's 100% sure.
Right, exactly.
Because the second you like ignite, you're like, you know he's gonna hear that. It's like,
right, yeah.
You know you're gonna have to act in a second either way.
Right, and he's gonna sense the malice, and it's gonna wake him. Like, yeah, it's like exactly. It makes him seem also rash and like making
very rash.
Yeah, and it's like that's not what I assume Luke was. In my mind, he's very much like the monk character. He's very, especially by Jedi, he's very calm, collected. You know, the very last scene where it's him and Vader talking, like there's no shouting. There's just very calm talking, and they're just going over it, and they're just making things like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep doing. It's like he's very like grounded. He's found the Force. He's figured it out, and like to see that he's not decided to do that, and he's already lost that a couple years out, and then you know other stuff like that. It's like
Yet, like, that moment, that second of shame that he had, that should have been by himself. That should have been him just, like, going over the situation and, like, weighing... Not pros and cons sounds really lame, but just, like, weighing, like, the circumstances of him acting and killing Ben Solo and him not.
Right.
That should have been, like, a private moment when... Because he said, second of shame, he has that thought, and then he like comes back and he's like, wait, I would never do that.
Right.
It's like, I can still change him. I can still turn him and like make him a great Jedi.
Right. And I wish he did that in a way, or they say depicted in a way where it was like, you're right. It's like him going like, wait, what's wrong with me? Why am I immediately assuming the worst? Like,
Yeah.
I'm the best Jedi. Like that would have been better if like like him failing as the master and just being like, oh, I for some reason I'm not the teacher. I was going to just, get rid of the person, the problem, instead of trying to teach away the problem.
Instead of teaching.
Good.
I think this is a plot hole. What happened? I think they're called the Knights of Ren.
Oh, yeah.
The
I have
other
no idea.
students Luke had that joined like Ben Solo
Yeah,
after
I
he
have no
left.
idea.
Like maybe that'll be addressed since he's like supreme leader now.
I would hope.
Maybe he'll bring them in as like his lieutenants or whatever.
I don't know what the fuck they're going to do for 9. Because everything that I was like expecting to be said in 9, Rey's parents, who Snoke is, that all just fucking went out the window.
I kind of like that though, in a sense of it was gonna look like we were gonna get another like Return of the Jedi moment, like Rey, Snoke, Ben Solo, like that triangle of power, like we got when like is Luke gonna turn? Is Luke gonna be able to turn Vader? And like we'd have that with Rey and these new characters, and I like that Snoke's gone out because now we don't have that at all. I would have liked to know how Snoke came to be and like being the so freaking powerful that he was, and now
no one knew about him.
Yeah.
For 6 movies,
and
he never came up.
He's really old by the looks of it, so I think he would be around in like the heyday of the Jedi with Yoda.
We'd at least have an idea of who he is, but we have nothing.
Yeah.
And then I just also don't understand how he did like. Rey goes to call a lightsaber and activate it, and then he just goes like this and makes come around and hit her in the head.
So freaking powerful.
But then just Kylo Ren just secretly tips the lightsaber. It's like, how did he not even sense that? How did he not react to that? Like,
I think that goes back to, even though this was a Sith saying this to a Jedi, he was like, your arrogance blinds you, Master Yoda. His arrogance and thinking that there was a 100% chance Ben was going to kill Rey.
Right.
He wasn't thinking about anything in the world. He was like, yes, Rey's going to be dead. This is fantastic. I think he was so arrogant that could happen to him.
Right.
Ben could take advantage of that moment and kill him.
so that's a fine answer. I accept that. Because I just thought it was so weird. Because I just want to know who he was. I want a little bit more about him. I was kind of hoping Rey's parents thing would come up like, in the at least 9, she was kind of like, whatever. Because the thing I don't like about the way that happened was it's, basically a recreation of Empire, where he's sitting out with his hand out, going, he's saying, "Join me," and then here's what your parents are. Like it's the same conversation.
Yeah.
You can join me. We'll be super strong. Also, here's your parents. And it's like I don't know why they had to redo it that way, as opposed to just having like a thing where maybe. Whatever, like that realization of Rey knowing her parents were just nothing, like to actually say that. And that's why I'm wondering if in 9, are they going to reveal that like, oh no, they actually were kind of cool, but just because she was so young, she had no understanding of who they were. I don't know. Let's see where that goes. But
the thing is, I kind of like that Rian Johnson saw these fan theories and like, you know what? Not everything has to be connected. I kind of like that he's saying that, you know what, she's just strong with the Force. She doesn't have to be a Kenobi or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I would love that if she did have that connection, but in a sense, it's kind of cool that it's not, that this universe is so the Star Wars universe is so massive.
Right.
And that not everything has to come back to the Skywalker family or the Skywalker story.
Right.
So I think that's an interesting aspect.
I definitely think Kylo has to turn to be a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way, because there's just no way this is the end of the Skywalker story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't see that making sense. Like, when everyone's being like, oh, Rey's gonna go to the dark side, I'm like, there's no way she is marketing gold. Like, you're not gonna sell an evil Rey toy.
See, that's a good point, because I was kind of lying to myself. I was like, yes, Rey, take his hand.
Yeah.
This will be so awesome. Because what a bold move that would be by Disney and Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Like, what a gamble, because you have, like, Rey's a beacon for all these female fans, too.
Right,
like,
yeah.
they finally have, like, this hero that little girls can look up to and be like, I can be like that.
Right.
And to turn her evil, I would have been so, like, I think revolutionary.
Oh, I would have been blown away. That would have knocked me over. I'm like, because I was just in Target like a couple weeks before this movie came out, and there's just Rey shit everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you go into the girls section of like, you know, t-shirts, or like there's just Rey stuff everywhere, and some of them are really cool. And it's like whatever. And like this is a cool thing. I'm glad this exists. There's no way they make her the bad guy. You know, like, and there's just no way that the Skywalker family ends here. And if it does, I don't understand why this movie is labeled 6 or 7 through 9.
Yeah, because as George Lucas said, it's a story about families. It's
Right.
a story about the Skywalkers, and he asked J.J. Abrams. He was like, "What happened to Darth Vader's grandchildren?" And like this was like before Force Awakens came out, so he didn't say anything. But yeah, I do want more of like a Skywalker connection. I do want more of like the bigger Star Wars story. Even though I said I liked that, you know, Rey doesn't have a connection. I would like a connection with more characters.
Okay.
Just because, you know, Luke's gone now. Leia's gonna be gone. Like they said, she's not gonna have a role in 9.
Right.
It's just Ben Solo.
Right.
And I mean, maybe they do want that, since, you know, 9 will be the end and they're just going to start doing other stuff.
If they do that, I want to make sure we don't have a 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's fine. You can have your own trilogies, but I want these numbered ones to be at least centered around the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
Because that just makes the most sense, I think.
I get that.
Because, like, is the whole purpose of the prequels was to show, you know, this whole thing was about Darth Vader. And to have this other thing that's also kind of about Darth Vader to you know, off to the side slightly, it's kind of about him.
Legacy in a way.
Legacy, yeah, more about his legacy and what his actions, what Anakin Skywalker's actions did, you know, what is this, 30 years later or something?
Yeah.
How that affects that. That I think is fine. That's kind of a cool idea. But if you're going to kill Kylo or do something with Kylo where he is, I just can't see him dying or being, you know, ended in that way. Because it definitely does seem like this is kind of a redemption story. They keep mentioning, oh, he's conflicted, he's close to changing, you know, blah, blah, blah.
I think he's by far the best character.
I love him. He's awesome.
I would love, I mean, I don't know if people want, but I would love him and Rey to like be together.
I would love
that sounds kind of creepy, but I much more than like
team up or
no, like
like relationship.
Be a couple, team up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome instead of like Rey or Finn or obviously Kylo Ren doesn't have any other like love interest, but I just think that is like very compelling. Like one of my favorite parts of The Last Jedi was their like Force connection.
That was really cool.
Like across the universe, they were communicating,
and that was really well shot.
Yeah,
I liked how they did that, where it was like, you know, they would just talk to the edge of the screen, and it was like, that's really cool. Like they can see each other, but you know, we're not Force sensitive. We wouldn't see them. Like not to just like have them like kind of in the scene with each other, but kind of just talking, and then like that echo effect. That was pretty cool. I kind of wish it wasn't Snoke who made that happen. I kind of wish that was their natural connection.
No, I agree.
That would have been really cool.
I mean, because even after Snoke died, like when the Millennium Falcon shed, they still had that.
Right.
So I hope that continues in a sense of like when 9 comes around. Like we'll see, like it'll be, I don't know if they're going to do this like they did Last Jedi taking place like right after Force Awakens, but if they do like a year's jump, we're going to see like how Kylo Ren has come to, how he's dealt with being Supreme Leader, and has he like gone even further into the dark side.
Right.
So I hope they at least still have that connection.
Yeah, that would be, I would hope that too, because I thought that was really cool. Like it's kind of like I think it was an Empire where Luke is just saying Leia's name, she can hear him.
Yes,
like
it is like that. Yeah.
I like that a lot. I think that would have been really cool if they did it at a passive level, where like Luke kind of was trying and he was calling out to her, but like randomly they would just be connected and they'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Like what?
Yeah, it like maybe an intense moment where like Kylo Ren's just yelling at his soldiers or whatever,
right? And then they just connect.
Like, and then Rey is there and he's like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, that I think would be way cooler if it wasn't like there wasn't someone out there, because really, it feels like Snoke doesn't need to be in this movie.
No, yeah.
It feels like Snoke doesn't have to be in the series.
No, not at all.
Because he doesn't really do anything. We don't know who he is or what he is.
He's utilized in turning Ben Solo.
Right.
Like that's...
But it doesn't even seem like it was necessary. Was he involved in him having dark tendencies? Because
see, it seems like Snoke found Ben when he was young. So like, did he meet Ben before he went off to train with Luke?
I don't know.
And like plant that seed of like the dark side, and then like it like surfaced later? I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah, I wish they kept Snoke for another movie so we could have a more Snoke-centered movie and really see why he matters.
Yeah.
Because I don't
like how did that relationship form with him and Ben?
Yeah, because what it seems like is Luke failed. Luke Batmaned Kylo Ren, made him a villain, and then Snoke's like, oh, hey, dark force using energy over here. I'll reach out to him, does a connection, mentally goes, hey, work under me. That's what it seems like, is like Snoke was like, oh.
So he like you're saying like he didn't have a role in the turn.
No,
like he found him after.
It seems like he was like scouting for the next apprentice, and he was like, oh shit, here's a guy who's fucking murdering kids. Let's do this guy. That's what it kind of seems like. I don't want it to be that. That seems like, that makes Snoke even more useless.
Yeah, if he just, this guy's actually really cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
like it seems.
Dude, you want to hang out?
Yeah,
bro?
that's what it seems like. It's like I don't understand why he's involved. And if that's like, I don't know. They need to. I hope they do kind of go into that maybe in 9 just to clear this up.
Yeah, because when Han and Ben were on the bridge, he was like, "That's Snoke talking." So and like Han hasn't seen Luke in so many years, so I feel like they would have to know each other before like his training happened with Luke, at least, or like know of him,
right?
And like maybe he reached out and Luke shut that shit down,
right? Or was it when he reached out and then there was a Luke and Han adventure when they went off to go save him, and it's like, oh, he's with this guy now. I don't know.
Because like Snoke had to rise to power somehow,
right? Exactly.
And I think
I barely understand how the First Order rose to power.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Like because. Why are they in the first movie? Why are they the Resistance if the Republic's a thing?
That's what I was telling Ben. He was like, "No, that's not the case." I'm like, "I don't understand."
Even though I haven't seen the Force Awakens that much, there's definitely the Republic, and they like call themselves the Resistance, don't they?
Right. And I thought that was so weird. Why did they?
But
your
new government
guys,
is in power.
Yeah, they call themselves the Resistance. Like, I don't understand how
the First Order is not a resistance necessarily, but they're like
neo-Nazis trying to start a thing, and like they're like, hey, the old ways were cool, and they're like, people are like, yeah, the old ways were cool, but like, yeah, I don't get it. But now in this movie, new First Order's the big honcho on campus, and then these guys they have so few people by the end that they don't even cramp up the Millennium Falcon. They just leave.
I'm like, all right, how are they gonna win in 9?
I don't understand,
because like none of their allies got back to them.
None of them cared. None of them gave a shit. They lost like everyone. I don't understand. Like it's so, and like the whole structure of the whole thing, like a slow speed car chase through space, like you can't just shoot through them or fucking teleport. Like the one thing, she teleports through them and blows that thing up. Really nice shot. Looked really cool, being all monochromatic. But like, they couldn't just do that to you. Like that's so much bigger. It's gonna shred you. Like she went like a bullet through them. Maybe died too. Sure, whatever. Also, she was kind of useless too. I don't know why she was there.
Admiral Holdo.
Something. Yeah, I don't know her name.
No, she was kind of useless. Well, then again, Phasma's useless.
Phasma's totally useless.
They built up Phasma to be this big character,
but only in the marketing.
Yeah, only in the market. You're right. Not like in the trailers necessarily, but barely in the first one.
Barely in this one.
Second one, barely. Her role, I think, might have been less.
It's probably less.
And then she dies.
Maybe. I thought she died in the first one.
Well, they sent her to the trash compactor like off screen, so we don't know what happened.
Right. So she.
But like this on screen, she falls through like an already like burning.
But Leia survived an explosion.
Then again, Leia survived an explosion
in space
when she wasn't in a spacesuit in space, and like. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. But yeah, Phasma, pointless.
But also, I don't know what space means in this universe, because in the very beginning, that first battle, Rose's sister, she falls down and hits the thing.
And it was open.
It was open. And she's just chilling. But everyone else that was in those, what are they, B-bombers or something?
Yeah, something
or T's, or I don't know. They don't have the name. They should be T-bombers, or T-wings, but I think they're B-wings or something.
Yeah.
They're all wearing masks. She wasn't.
Yeah.
And she just hits the ground. But like, I don't know. Maybe she
should have been sucked out.
Maybe she was a Force user. I don't know. But then when Leia comes back, I don't think the airlock closes. The door just opens. Everyone's standing there and grabs her.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because I thought she just like came through like a broken part of the ship.
Yeah.
So maybe space means nothing. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Or maybe Ryan Johnson's a hack and has no idea what he's doing. I don't know.
I like his personality. He seems like a guy who really loves filmmaking.
I can't doubt that. I just don't know if he should be writing and directing. I think someone needs to step in and be like, hey, about this.
I will say one thing I would have liked was, I guess, more Luke in action.
Yeah.
Like, because right when he showed up at the base, I was like, yeah, he's not there. Because, like, why would he get a haircut and dye his beard?
I didn't even catch his hair color was different. But yeah, the hair color, I thought I was like, all right.
Because, like, when Kylo Ren, he was like, fire on him, I told my dad, I was like, yeah, Luke's not there. And he comes out, like, I liked the shoulder thing. He was like, what else you got, bro?
See, so what ended up happening when I saw that scene, I was like, okay, this is going to be his Yoda moment.
Yeah.
From Attack the Clones. I'm like, awesome. He's going to be his Yoda moment. I have been watching and reading so much shonen anime and manga that I just assumed that was him, and he dodged everything, and then was going to single-handedly destroy everything. I was like, oh, he's gonna be him, a total badass. No, this is just, I'm way too deep in stupid like anime bullshit to be like, that's where my brain goes. Oh, he's just going to single-handedly like be like teleporting, like Dragon Ball Z, like disappear and then appear, and things are gonna explode, like. But no, that was just me being stupid as fuck.
Yeah, because for me it was the hair and also the lightsaber. He was holding
the lightsaber. Once he pulled the lightsaber, I was like, that's weird.
It was destroyed.
Yeah.
And but also the hair. I was like, really, Luke? You're like, oh, well, I'm going in front of people now. I gotta dye this and
I gotta look good.
This. Yeah.
I just missed the hair color thing because I've been listening to other podcasts and they're like, his hair changed. And I'm like, how could you think it was like? Oh, I guess it did. I just never noticed that. I just immediately was like, nope, he's a fucking anime superhero now. Like,
he's just a savage.
Yeah, like he's just going to single-handedly kill a bunch of AT-ATs and just because like I literally thought it was gonna be the Yoda moment where we saw that and like I will never forget that moment.
Oh, what an awesome moment!
That movie might not be the best. But seeing it opening night where he just throws his robe open, the crowd goes fucking crazy. He just pulls out a lightsaber, turns it on. Everyone's losing their fucking minds. Like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was really hoping that was going to be the thing. Or like he would just walk by and just crush AT-ATs with his head, like just force. I was like, that would be awesome. But no, he just wasn't there.
Like, it was kind of cool in a sense like that he was able to do that from across the fucking galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted like an in-person Luke with the green lightsaber, him versus Kylo Ren.
Oh, yeah.
And then I wanted Luke to get away somehow. I wanted Ben to realize that, you know, you have a lot more training to do. Like, this is Luke fucking Skywalker. And like,
in a way, you still get that because like, but like not to the cool extent.
No, because like how I pictured the fight. Well, what I thought would have been cool is like they're throwing down, Ben's struggling because you know Luke's being Luke, and then all of a sudden Luke has like an opening and he can't take it. He comes back to that moment of when he couldn't.
Kill him, that'd be good.
He's like, I still can't. And that's when Ben takes advantage. Maybe like hits his arm or something, and now it's looking like Ben, like maybe the lightsaber goes flying,
right?
And then like the Falcon shows up and like Luke gets away,
right?
And then Kylo Ren is wondering about Luke. He's wondering about Rey, and now that they're together, now that Luke's back in like with Leia and like back in the Resistance, like what's his role now? Is he gonna be a full-time Jedi and like trying to help them, or is he gonna go back and this was just like a one-time thing?
Right.
And like, will Rey continue training with him? Like, it would have been a lot of things up in the air.
It's so much better.
And
it's so much better.
But they gave him that meditation moment with like, you know, the binary sunset like in New Hope. So that's what they wanted to do. I would have liked him to stay around.
I mean, he didn't die. He'll be a Force ghost. So he'll be a Force ghost, sure. But like what you just said is so much better. I'm getting like fucking goosebumps. Like, that's fucking cool. But yeah, like that. Because another thing I really like too is when they first started, they had an establishing shot. They pulled back. They showed the two standing there. Kylo's using two hands. And Luke had one, like Vader.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's a fucking total badass now. Like, he has gotten to the point where he's like, he doesn't need to like really, like, he's just, the Force is going to take over in this fight. That's so sick. And it didn't really matter. But like, I thought that was going to be a really cool, like kind of homage to his father. Just like, no, I've reached that point of I'm at my dad's level now. But it didn't matter.
Yeah, man. R.I.P. Luke.
Rip in peace. Oh, God.
Because, yeah, man, I would have loved him to just, like, stay around and see like where his story would have gone.
And I really thought that was going to happen because now that Carrie Fisher's gone, they would need if they wanted to keep
That's
this.
Exactly what I thought. Yeah,
they wanted to keep this pattern going. They need someone to carry in, and he's like doing so much press with Daisy Ridley. I just assumed they were going to be together till the end of this.
Shout out to Mark Hamill. That guy is a fucking legend and like the nicest guy.
God, so nice.
I don't know if you heard about this, but I saw it on Twitter. I don't know how long ago this was, but this kid was really sick, and he wanted to meet Luke Skywalker. And he was only like 6 or 7, so he didn't like get the point that it was, you know, fiction. And he didn't know that Luke Skywalker wasn't like an actual guy.
Right.
So like the dad reaches out and says, "Can Mark Hamill show up as Luke Skywalker in complete character and talk to my son?" And he does.
That's amazing.
And he answers like all these like Luke Skywalker questions about like being a Jedi and like spends like so much time with this kid as Luke Skywalker. It's like, who else would do that?
No one.
That is just so cool and so nice. And
well, did you hear the thing where he was at the Star Wars ride in Disney World?
Yeah, the Star Tours.
Yeah, and he just shows up and he's like, "Hey guys," and everyone's like, "Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you doing here?" I was like, I was listening to Kevin Smith had like talked to him.
Yeah,
and he was kind of retelling the story of this conversation. But Mark Hamill was a huge like sci-fi nerd when he was a young kid. and I guess only recently really realized like how important he is to people right now. Maybe not just recently, but like I feel like him showing up and doing all this cool stuff recently has been like him really embracing that like I am a cultural icon. Like I am who I looked up to as a kid, and I know how important this would have been if that person showed up for me. And so now he's like out and doing this stuff, and he's like really just And now I'm kind of also wondering if is it because like Luke was going and it was like this is my last chance to be Luke and I can go off and do Luke things. I don't know if which one it was, but I just think it's really cool that he's off and doing this stuff.
I mean, for years, like when he started doing the Joker, he would like go to Comic Cons. Like Harrison Ford doesn't do that for people.
Oh yeah,
Mark Hamill does, and he loves it.
Yeah, I love Mark. Mark Hamill's so great. Like it's true. Like people would love if Harrison Ford showed up things. He's done so many cool like sci-fi and fantasy stuff that like people would love to see him. But
No slack on nothing against Harrison Ford.
No, it's up to you. It's totally your option.
It's just like Mark Hamill goes to like all these Comic Cons. Like it's not just like San Diego too. He's like goes to all these like conventions, and I'm sure he's there for a long time, making sure he meets everyone.
Oh yeah, I mean Harrison Ford has had a consistent schedule of work.
Oh yeah,
forever. Since
his
77.
career is unprecedented. I mean, he's like the largest box office
is he
ever.
I totally
think
believe
for an
it.
actor.
I would totally believe it because he's. I mean, if you look at it, he's Han Solo, he's Indiana Jones, he's he has Blade Runner, he has fucking whatever he's fucking what's that one? The fucking plane one. Where he's the president.
Air Force One.
Air Force One.
Yeah. No, yeah, he has a lot that I can't even think of right now. But
he's
consistently like A-list career, even though like his movies might not have been the top movies all the time.
He's like, constantly working and stuff. And like when I think of Harrison Ford, I can immediately 3 or 4 movies pop into my head. But with Mark Hamill, it's Luke Skywalker and the Joker. Those are the 2 things I associate with him. Even though if he's done a bunch of stuff, probably I don't necessarily know.
I mean, his voice work, portfolio is
definitely
ridiculous.
Yeah, so does a bunch of shit. But like, he's definitely. It clearly means a lot to him to show up to things. And I think in the last, like, whenever this press tour kind of started, he really took off with this and has just been showing up and doing so much cool shit. And it's pretty great. He's a great dude. Yeah. I kind of wish he would. I hope he does Force Ghost throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping, like, it's a decent-sized role and, like, him being not just, like, Obi-Wan's, like, couple scenes. I hope, like, he has a decent-sized, like... Yeah, like you said, Leia's gone, so he's like that. He's like the bridge to the old movies now. He's the only one,
right? Yeah,
and like even Admiral Akbar died.
Even Admiral Akbar died, and it's like, what the fuck is that? Like, I was just as emotional that Admiral Akbar is gone, that fake Leia was gone. I was like, God damn it, we could have had 2 very emotional deaths, but no. I mean, I guess it would have been kind of a jokey thing if you saw her just floating there and we were losing her, and then Admiral Akbar just kind of floats behind her. It's like,
but we didn't see any other bodies either.
We didn't.
How did she? Yeah, it's.
I don't like her that much. That character was weird.
Leia?
No, the other chick that took over for her was telling me. They're
oh
dead.
yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Also, did hair dye exist in this universe?
Oh well, she might be like some race.
I'm just assuming she's an alien because otherwise that's the dumbest thing in the world. That she's just randomly the only one ever to have purple hair. Did you care about the Finn and Rose storyline at all?
Not really. I mean, yes, people were telling me, oh, the kiss was supposed to be awkward. It was the worst kiss in cinema history.
Rose was so bad.
Like, yeah, Matt wasn't a fan of her.
That character's so... Like, who is she? Why are you adding more characters to this? We have a huge catalog of people to pull from.
Like, so their goal is to find this code breaker, bring him back so they can get on the ship, do the thing, like, disable the tracer, and then they'll be fine. They fail at everything.
So yeah, Max Landis tweeted about this. You see this?
Oh, no.
He has a tweet where he's like, literally everyone fails. Fucking Poe is trying to like take over and like he has this whole plan, fails. The woman you take, tries to do the thing or whatever, tries to take over for them. She tries to escape, fails. Fucking Luke fails.
Yeah.
Rey fails. Kylo to turn Rey fails. Snoke fails. Everyone fails, which is probably the theme of the movie they were going for.
I think I did see those tweets now, and yeah, it comes back to Yoda saying failure's the greatest teacher in the movie. So I guess that makes sense.
But I don't feel like they leaned into it enough.
No.
Because I didn't realize that until he had said that. And I feel like that they could have done something, maybe had more of like, maybe established like failure as a concept early and then have Yoda like punctuate it and be like, oh yeah, everyone failed. But
he made a great, Max Landis did, great point with Rose's like sacrifice. Very dangerous and could have killed them both. And it just seemed like a very odd decision that, well, like, why? Like, what were your thoughts on, like, Rose, like, slamming her ship into Finn's?
Real dumb.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, she takes Finn's one hero moment from this movie. Like, that's the weird thing too. In the beginning of this, she's like, "Oh, I never met a hero of the rebellion."
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's had any real moments aside from just being the guy who turned sides. He has not had any like real hero moments.
I mean, he was just in the thick of it in The Force Awakens, like fighting Kylo Ren. It's like, because him, Han, Rey, and Chewie were like the only people on site.
Right.
Everyone else was like flying around them.
Yeah, he was like our stand-in. He was new to this whole thing. He was like, "What's going on? I'm being pulled out." He was the fish out of water. He was someone we could relate with. And in this one, he just didn't really do anything. Like, what he did didn't matter.
No.
I like Benicio del Toro's character a lot.
I hope we get more of him.
I really do too.
I would like some closure in like him acting, because
Yeah.
he seemed to like have a solid grasp on like the idea of this constant war in Star Wars. He seemed to have like solid thoughts on that. So I hope we get more of him.
And yeah, he was an interesting guy. He had that like interesting like speech pattern.
Yeah, at first I was like, what is that accent? And then he like had he started stuttering. I was like, okay, that's what he's doing. I was like, what's going on here?
And like the idea that he's this morally ambiguous guy.
Yeah.
Or it's like, I was really thinking when the laser started shooting, it was BB-8. I thought it was going to be him in his ship.
Okay.
And he's just like, fuck these guys, and starts killing them. I was like, oh, okay, so we have no fucking clue what this guy's goal is.
Because, there was no malice when he turned them in.
No. It was just him. It was just him saving himself.
Yeah. He wasn't even like, fuck you guys. He was like, I had to do this.
Right.
Like,
It's
they were going to pay.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I can kind of respect that. That's an interesting idea because no one does that in Star Wars. I was talking about this with someone, I think it was on the show, that like my problem really with Star Wars, because now I've been like, once I like kind of sat back, started thinking about the whole thing before even seeing Last Jedi, I don't really like that it's constantly like just black and white. No pun intended, but like it's like you're good, you're bad. There's no like real middle ground person. Like,
like green and blue versus red.
That's
like
it. Yeah.
When it comes to lightsabers. Yeah.
And that's it. It's just like there's no guy who is a Dark Force user and is also doing good, or he's like he embraced that side of the Force to go and do something else. Like there's no guy who has a green. I mean, I guess people constantly turn to the dark side, but there's no gray Jedi that everyone keeps talking about. Everyone's like, oh, so there'll be a gray Jedi. It's like that doesn't exist in the movies. That's never been shown in the movies. That's just a gray Jedi in the movie is a Sith Lord pretending to be a good guy. Like that's it. We don't really have anyone that's a good guy using Force lightning or using something like that, having a red lightsaber. That doesn't really happen in this at all. And the only one we've ever actually seen do that is Finn. He's the only one who's ever actually changed sides from bad to good. No one's ever done that. It's always been the other way around. And to have Benicio del Toro's character be this guy who's like, I don't know what he's thinking. At any moment, he could play. I don't know if he actually hates these people. If he doesn't care. Does he feel bad that he left them? Like, what is his goal? What is he trying to do? He's fascinating. He was the most interesting person there, and I hope he comes back. But like, I like that he's this morally ambiguous character because it having this series play with the light side, dark side, and to see that the Jedi aren't always right and the Sith we're always led to believe are always wrong.
Showing that who those like those arms dealers, who they were funding. It was like, here are like the X-Wings. They're like, they fund both sides, kid. You got to understand that.
And I want them to go more into that. I think that's so much more interesting of like, all right, who is the good guy? Because like, I just wish they had a few more moments where dark side people were good, because we have this stuff where Luke is talking to Rey and he was like, the Jedi Order was a mistake. It failed. We had horrible ideas. Nothing that's worked. Like, all the major Jedis from all three series were too old to be Jedi. So is that number just arbitrary, this age thing? Because, obviously the point, we see where it goes wrong with Anakin, because he had an emotional connection with his mother. He let the emotional side of things get to him. He couldn't reach that monk state. But, Luke passed through. Sure, he had no family, but whatever. And then Rey also has no family, but whatever. She's making it. And then there's that little kid at the end who's just passively using the Force. And he just grabs that broom. Like, does that age thing
Wait, kid was using the Force at the end?
Yeah, that little kid with the broom?
Yeah.
As he walks out, he just Force grabs the broom.
Oh, I did not notice
It's horseshit.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't like that scene at all.
He was so nonchalant about it. It's like, all right, what is the Force? Like, was the Jedi Order just making an arbitrary age gap or age limit, or does it actually not matter? Could you have trained someone in a way where they can use emotions and be a Jedi? Do they have to be a Sith? We don't know these things. They never go into this. Well, there's no middle ground anywhere.
I think it came to, like, with the age thing, that once people develop these connections, it's harder to let go of them.
That's what I always thought.
Like, because, Ben Solo started training probably when he was like, what, 12, 14?
I would assume.
It's a lot of emotions building up. It wasn't like...
But you think if knowing that... I don't know. I'm not sure how... Because, like... I don't know. Because you'd think... Maybe Luke didn't know, but he was reading those books, so maybe he would have known.
Maybe he didn't have the books yet, because, like, the Jedi were destroyed, like, 30 years before he was born.
Yeah, so I don't know if he...
Or, like, no, when he was born.
Yeah, so I don't know if he made that mistake and was like, oh, I can just start whenever, or did he know he had to start young? And then, did Ben have connections to his parents? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're obviously friends with Luke, so maybe they showed up a lot. I don't know. Like, what was that I just don't know. I don't know why... I don't know. I wish they would, but like he made that comment of being like, the Jedi Order was a mistake.
I love that he brought up like what happened in the prequels. So he was like, at their height of the power, they didn't even realize Darth Sidious was right under their nose. So it's like, yes, you acknowledged the prequels.
Yeah, but they made mistakes. They were wrong, and we only see the dark side being wrong. And I wish we could see them being right. Mm-hmm. Maybe they did make the right decision. Maybe the Empire is shit, but it's a platform for a Sith Lord to do whatever. Just we're going away where, just because your lightsaber color, we can't just pick what side you're on. I don't know. It seems.
I mean, that's what's great about Kylo Ren.
I think Kylo Ren is going to be the first. Like, if they really do him right, he'll be the one to fucking. Because
people root for him, people root against him, and because there's so many sides to him. There's a lot of emotions like fighting each other when it comes to his like personality.
I just love some of the small touches. I don't know if it's Adam Driver making decisions or someone else, but like in the fight with Rey in Force Awakens when he's stabbed. Yeah. And when he starts to lose, he punches himself to get angry and cause more emotion, to be more in touch with the dark side. That's such a great fucking idea. And like in this one, where he smashes the helmet, like he's just getting more in touch with that side. He's like, anytime he feels himself getting close, or he fails Snoke, he feels he's getting close to the light side, he gets real emotional and he gets real angry, and he's letting himself like, go back to the dark side. He's embracing that deep emotional side of the whole thing, as opposed to being that balance. And I think he's fucking awesome.
I mean, that moment when he couldn't kill Leia. What a great moment.
Oh yeah. He's so good. God, he's such a good character. Yeah. You're right. He's definitely the best part. And like, because I want to know what happens to him, I will see 9. But I was just vastly disappointed with this one. I saw a petition the other day to have 8 scratched from the canon. Really? Yeah. Wow. People take this very seriously. Yeah. Star Wars. I mean, to me, I walked out, thinking it was okay. Again, like my very sense, like my time with Star Wars ended as a kid after Revenge of the Sith. Like I've been very like casual with Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Like I don't have that intense feeling of like being young Anakin. 1999 Halloween, right? Having just like a great fucking time, like wearing Darth Maul t-shirts at like 5 years old, right? Like I'm very much just go with the flow when it comes to Star Wars. Okay, so I'll definitely see 9, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know like how excited I'll be going into it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess my problem and why I've heard people say this one's very prequel-esque, and why I kind of agree is they seem to put up pins and not knock them down in ways that make sense. Like a Snoke or like a Darth Maul even. Like he's this cool character. Who is he? All right, he goes out like a bitch. Like they keep doing this stuff where it's like they play with too many cards at once when like if you look at New Hope, it's like 7 characters that really matter. It's very small. Like when small deaths when a death as simple as Obi-Wan's is, like aesthetically and all that kind of stuff, it's impactful, it's emotional, Mark Hamill's performance helps with that and stuff like that. But like we're playing with a smaller group here, and it's partially why Rogue One could have worked a lot better. They were playing with a small team. The only problem is we kind of just knew they all had to die or, go away and never show up again, because we obviously where that movie ends, there's no way these people would just disappear, like, so I don't know. I don't know. I hope, and like that's kind of what I also have a problem with this series is like, why at this point, why have Han, Leia, Luke besides just letting us be like, hey, they're back? Because like I don't feel like they're utilizing them well. Like yeah, it's like, oh my God, Han's dead, but like, could you have written a thing where it was just, your Snoke, your Adam Driver, your Kylo Ren, your Rey, a BB-8, Finn, because they have so many characters right now that are new.
Mm.
and then they're adding them too. It's like, why not just use these guys and not worry about these older characters that maybe aren't really, all they're really doing is upsetting people like me who really love those old movies. And it's like, okay, well, you fucked up Leia. You know, like, I really feel like Leia is completely fucked up now. And it's like, fuck, if you just didn't use these guys and you just put it another 30 years, you did like a 60-year gap and these guys were already dead. And it's just like, now they're picking up the pieces of who are these people? Why are they there? What's going on? And like, you know, figuring that out, maybe. I don't know. But it just seems like, I don't know why they're there when they're not really utilizing them well, and then still adding more people on top of that. It's like, you clearly can't juggle all these balls right now. You need to put some of these down, but stop putting down the ones that we care emotionally about, the ones that have had all these years of build up. You know, maybe let Rose die. Maybe, you know, let Phasma go. Like, maybe we don't need all these fucking
I
names.
honestly think let Phasma go.
They're not using her.
Yeah.
You know, like, all she really is like a rival for Finn. But like, okay.
I mean, he stood up to her. He had his redemption when it came to Phasma. I think that story can end.
Right, we don't need it. And like,
Yeah.
I really don't feel like Finn is getting any of the limelight. Like, I thought they were going to do a Rey, Finn, Poe thing, and kind of doing, you know, our Han, Luke, Leia thing. But in the first movie, Poe is barely in it.
That's true, yeah.
Poe is almost barely in this one. He has a lot more in this one, but like, not really. And then Finn is like, he's sent on a side quest that doesn't matter. It doesn't need to happen. You know, it's just, you know, they keep leaning so into Rey. It's like, yeah, she's very interesting. Kylo Ren is very interesting, but you're letting these other two just fall to the wayside. I guess you could kind of make that argument for like Leia has barely any like a super role in the originals or whatever, but like, I mean, at least even Han had some shining moments, you know, like.
No, you need a solid supporting cast to
Yeah.
like build around Rey and Kylo,
But
without a doubt.
I just feel like Rey Kylo is in a different side of the story than this Finn.
Oh, definitely.
thing.
I care much more about what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked like for an hour about just the Jedi side of this.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an entire side of the story that's about normal people, and they're not doing anything. Like, they're just there. And I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't know what their plan is. I hope they have a plan. I'm be interested to see what happens with Episode 9. I don't know. I don't really know what it is. I mean, you posted that thing today on Twitter, that really cool fucking
The prequel
trailer.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool, right?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And like, it shows that like good editing can save anything. So maybe if we just had someone sit there, because a lot of people are saying this movie's too long, so maybe if this was just, did we really need the slow speed car chase? Like, did that really need to be there? Could we have just sped that up, made it happen faster, and then just moved those characters on? Did we need the casino? I don't know. Like, that didn't really go anywhere. Did Benicio del Toro even have to be in this movie? Probably not. Like, maybe if we edited around this a little better. Apparently, the A New Hope was saved by editing. Like, George Lucas did not understand what he was doing, and his editor is why we have this movie today.
Really?
I recently heard that. I did not look into it, so I could be lying. But like, apparently, the editing of A New Hope is what saved that movie from becoming kind of like a prequels where things are built up and then not knocked down properly, and just nothing's finished, or it's kind of it feels weird. You know, it's and then, you know, Hayden Christensen being the worst actor to ever grace the earth. I rewatched those whole things when The Force Awakens came out, and Jar Jar Binks is nothing compared to Hayden Christensen being a dumpster fire of an actor.
I'll say, like, I rewatched them. I still really enjoy them. And to be honest, I might get flack for this. They're probably my favorite Star Wars movies.
Okay.
Just, yeah, maybe it's nostalgia and, like, picturing, like, you know, 4, 7, and 10-year-old me sitting there in the theater just having such a great time. But I think, like, Jar Jar, I like Jar Jar. I don't mind him. I'll say the dialogue that Hayden was given was not the best. Yes, his acting could have been better, but I also feel some of the, like, a lot of dialogue in Star Wars sounds weird.
Yeah.
But especially with Hayden, I was like, why would he even say this? Like, just, like when they're on Tatooine, I think it's episode 2, and he's talking about
The
Obi-Wan's
sand thing? Oh, the Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's like jealous of him.
Yeah.
He's like, they give Anakin these speeches that are just like
They're very whiny.
so whiny,
Yeah.
and like they give him like the dialogue with Padme that's just creepy.
Yeah.
I was like, if you see Hayden Christensen and other stuff, he's not the worst actor in the world. Like, he did this movie about a journalist who like plagiarizes called Shattered Glass.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to watch that, like, it's a solid performance.
Okay.
And I don't know if I think that came out like during his Star Wars run, or maybe right after.
Okay.
But I don't think that he is as bad as like people make him out to be. they see like him as Anakin. It's like, wow, this guy is the worst thing ever. And that's why he's not like been cast in a lot of. That's why he didn't go into superstardom like Natalie Portman. That's what some people say.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think that yes, it certainly didn't help, but I also think that he wasn't given. I mean, he was like 20 years old. And it was like it might have been his big break, but. Yeah, just a lot of Anakin's dialogue I think could have been better, and I think it's not 100% his fault.
I can give it that, because there's a lot of times, like when I rewatch them, especially a lot of the beginning of episode 2, there's a lot of times where Obi-Wan just trying to be friends, he's just being buddy, might tease him a little bit, and then he just goes to 100. He's just like, I fucking hate you. It's like, whoa, stop, dial it back. Like, what are you doing? Why are you so emotional about like nothing? And it's like. It's probably partially the writing just being like dog shit, but like and like that's I think why I like Kylo Ren more than I like Anakin, because Anakin is whiny and his emotion is sadness, where Kylo Ren is anger, and I think that's
a great point.
It's so much cooler and like makes a far more intimidating villain, and with Vader, he's so intimidating to know that he came from a crying baby. Like whiny thing, to then go to be this cool badass, it weakens his character if you look at it as a whole. Because he's gigantic dude, he's intimidating, he has this crazy breathing thing, you never see his face, he's all in black, this guy's crazy, just it's first time you see him, he kills a guy with just choking him to death, like, this is crazy. To then see where he came from is just like, Anakin, or fucking Obi-Wan doesn't trust me. It's like, all right, hang on.
Yeah, like, when he says, they're animals and I slaughtered them like animals. If he said that more like Kylo Ren, like, let the past die, instead of like him, like, kind of like crying when he says it. I think that could have been very compelling. That's a good point.
Because like it's so weird that he's so cryy all the time. He's so emotional, like emotional in a very weak way.
Yeah, it clouds him, which makes sense. But it is, that's a good point. Very very weak, and he lets it get the better of him. I'll say too much in a sense of. Like with Kylo Ren, it motivates him to act. Like he gets this anger, he gets this like sadness sometimes, and then he like pushes it down and then just moves forward like whatever action he's going to do. Yeah. Anakin, it like stays with him, and it's on the surface, which it probably shouldn't have been. It should have been like more of an internal fight.
Right, and it also seems like a lot of times Kylo Ren is forcing it, where he's like. Fuck this, and he lets the anger come out, and he's like, I need to be angry right now because I fucked up. Snoke doesn't trust me, or I fucked this up, and it's like, it's very much an emotional thing, but that's very much important to the core of his Force direction. So I would just hope that I don't know. I hope they finish Kylo Ren well, because if they do that, then maybe this whole thing. Because I've also thought too, because if you look at Force Awakens, a lot of things are left open. Yeah. Because it's designed to be a trilogy, as opposed to like you look at A New Hope, that's a perfect package, start to finish. You can move on. Like, it was not meant to be two other movies.
Because they didn't know that they would get made. Like, what if people hate this?
Right. So they wrote Force Awakens in a way that left things open. They probably maybe did that too. So I remember thinking too, when the movie came out, I was like, oh, I'll forgive that. I know they're anticipating 2 more movies after this.
Which is a pass that some people didn't think, even though they're Star Wars, that they shouldn't get.
Right. So, I don't know. Hopefully, they stick to the finale, and maybe a lot of my complaints have answers, even if those answers are really weak, like they're like Rey's parents. So maybe, hopefully something happens. We're like, okay, thank God. Like this is we got something here. Like it punctuated well, but I don't know, man. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, I think you just gotta, like for me, like just be more like casual about it. I think people can complain all they want, but like you're not in that writer's room. You're not on set. True. It's like you gotta take it for entertainment. Like there's stuff that's created. And I'm like, wow, this just shouldn't exist. Like the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I strongly dislike those because, Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire was supposed to happen. Like, say what you want about Spider-Man 3. Even though I like Spider-Man 3, I know, like, 95% of America doesn't. But I think there was still more to do with that arc, with Tobey as Spider-Man. And that it was such a money grab to just, a few years later, reboot it with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, that was weird.
And Amazing Spider-Man 1, okay movie. 2 was just terrible.
2 was not great.
Like Dane DeHaan, the actor, is like a mutant Green Goblin, Harry Osborn.
Oh yeah,
It's just terrible.
What was that?
Like Paul Giamatti is the Rhino.
That was the dumbest decision. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, does he just look back at that as like what was his thought process? Be like, yeah, or not even his. Who the fuck was in casting? Like Paul Giamatti, Rhino, anyone? Like how did that conversation happen? It's like I don't understand.
Yeah, and like I didn't like that they did that, but I don't like stay up at night just like shitting on the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Like they happened. Do I think they should have? No, but I don't harp on it. It's not a big deal.
I mean, I've definitely been falling away from Star Wars and having the thought like, you know what? I got my 3. We're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need other movies in this. It's just because when you look at the greater story of it, or you try to like put all the pieces together, you try to embrace, because like when I was in high school and stuff, I fucking loved Wikipedia and like really learning about like Star Wars lore and like all this expanded universe stuff. And then when Disney bought it and they were like, and all of this is garbage, I was like, well, that's really unfortunate, because it kind of made sense. Like all of these different hands came in and saw this great malleable property, and they all put their own spin on it, and it actually all like lined up. Like it wasn't like a comic book where you have different realities. It was just the one reality pretty much. And then it was just like all of this stuff connects in some way because no one stepped on someone else's foot. Like there weren't 2 Old Republic stories. There was the one, and then people worked around it. And people worked around each other's work. They'd pick an era and they'd work around what was already there, and they would establish more. And it would just grew as this giant, crazy thing. And then Disney came in and said, nope, all that's gone. This is the official stuff. And I don't know if that made sense. And apparently a lot of the stuff that like the tree and all that shit, that's in the new comics. And so they are establishing stuff in other medias or mediums. And I don't know if that works. They have Final Fantasy 15 came out earlier this year, and they have a movie and a cartoon that go with it. And if you watch all that, it does add to it, but not everyone did. So a lot of people are like, nothing fucking makes sense. Who are these people? What's this power that's going on? So like, does that work? The Warcraft movie came out. A lot of people hate it. I don't mind it because I know what the fuck they're talking about because I've been in that world for a decade now. Is that fair to ask to do these mixed media things? I think it's cool, and when it works, it's cool. When you're part of that, you're part of it, and you're like, I know what that is. But I don't know if that's a smart idea. Should you because that was the cool thing about the extended universe, is a lot of it was everything was self-contained stories, but used elements from other things as opposed to being like, although the Star Wars thing wasn't a huge issue where I was like, I don't, what's this tree? Why does this matter? Like, the emotional impact of Yoda burning it didn't hit until I learned this was like a much bigger thing. I was like, oh, okay, I kind of missed that moment. But like, I don't know. I'm not sure if this mixed media thing makes sense.
I don't like, my dad and I have talked about this a few times. I don't like extra stuff that like a show's coming out and they have webisodes to like show you what happens before the pilot. Right. I shouldn't have to learn anything before watching something.
There shouldn't be homework.
Yeah,
to enjoy something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think just leave it all out there in whatever is created. If you're gonna do comics, make it something else, or make it something that occurs after and like won't have to like be readdressed.
Or answer questions like who's the little woman, the little alien lady that runs the bar?
Oh, Maz? Is that her name?
Yeah. Just do a comic on what the fuck she was doing.
What? That looked interesting.
Because that looked really interesting.
That should
have been episode 8. Yeah. But like, do that. Don't do a thing that's going to establish where don't establish something and then have the period moment of that be the movie. Like, keep all that shit separate. Like, everything should be more or less self-contained. I think it might be hurting what Star Wars is trying to do by having like everything work together. Like, sure, there's very little going out there, but you sit down, you watch Force Awakens, and then read, I think there's like 2 comics, and then you see Rogue One, and then there's like 2 comics. Like, there's the new era of like Star Wars canon is very small, so you could easily jump right in and catch up and pay attention to that. But like, I don't want to read any of those. I don't care that badly about this Star Wars universe too. Like, I don't care that much. Like, it's not where I'm emotionally attached right now. And honestly, now that I think about it, I think once they were like, all of that stuff isn't canon anymore is really where it started to damage my love for Star Wars. Because to know that like what Star Wars does really well, what a lot of comics do really well, a lot of superhero comics, they're part of this gigantic universe, and this is just a snippet into it. You know, like you look at the original 3, Jedi, not so much, but the other 2, it really feels like you're just all of a sudden showing up in the middle of this greater universe. They talk about stuff like in New Hope, where they're talking about the Clone Wars and all this stuff, and it's like, the way it's written, I don't need an answer to what those are. I'm just like, I'm fascinated. Like,
no, not
wow,
at all.
that's so cool that existed, and that he was in a war, and this is a thing, and this is an old religion. Like, they're saying things because they're in this universe. They're not explaining it to you because we're the audience. We don't know what these things are, which a lot of like fantasy sci-fi stuff does in a weird way, where they're like, I'm trying to think of a movie that I was watching. I was like, what? Oh no, you know what? It was Final Fantasy 13. They talk to each other, because everything in that game is fucking absurd, but they're talking to each other like they're all brand new. Like, one character just knows this thing, like, you don't know about the fal'Cie, and this is like, you're in this world. Shouldn't you just know what this is? Like, why aren't you just acting like you're a part of this world, as opposed to talking at me with just pages of exposition about this absurd fucking universe you've created? Like, that's why I really like the first Star Wars, because, like, it's just, I don't need to know these answers. These are just, it's part of this great world. And in Empire does the same thing, where it's kind of like, we just kind of look in, we're catching up with people that we previously knew, but it's not like, you know, I'm not confused. They talk about certain things, they talk about different aspects of stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, I don't know if we don't need to keep going back and looking at, like, we need to know what the Clone Wars looked like. Yeah, they're fucking awesome. I'm glad we do, but, like, you know, maybe if we just told another story, you know, maybe Star Wars, like, almost as if we didn't number them, and it was just, you know, Star Wars 1, and then Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and then the next movie was just another place in the galaxy. It's a huge galaxy, and it's mapped out, which is crazy. You know, I don't know. It's maybe it is hurting these new movies that they're leaning into the Skywalker family line, like bloodline, as opposed to just being their own thing. Which maybe these stories, if they stop just emphasizing stuff that happened with previous characters, like, we're probably going to see the fucking Kessel Run, or whatever that's called, from Han Solo.
Yeah, we're going to see that?
Probably in Solo, right? Like, what do we know of Han Solo's history?
Shit, you're right.
We don't know anything except for that. That's the one big moment of his past.
That's like where his legend,
right,
so to speak. Yeah.
So, like, that's probably what we're going to see, is what that meant.
I
what that looks
forgot
like.
about that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, they're not just going to tell a Han Solo story. They're going to show us the Han Solo story. And it's like, yeah, that's really cool, and I'd like to know what that is. You know, like, that seems like a really cool thing to watch visually. That'll be really cool to see how unfold. But, like, do we need it? I don't know. You know, could we just have another, like, if maybe they don't. Maybe they don't do this, and, you know, Kathleen Kennedy actually takes her hands out of it and, like, we lets this thing go, and we just see just a heist. You know, maybe, but it's probably going to be him getting the Millennium Falcon, doing the Kessel Run, and, you know, meeting Chewbacca maybe. That's probably going to be the three big things. So those are the three big things that we know about, because we know Lando's in that movie, which is pretty cool. You know, so it's going to be them playing, was it Pazak or something? They played some games. It's one of the games. It's a card game you can play in the Old Republic games. They, like, created an entire card game, and I think it used to be canon, and that was the card game he played to win the Millennium Falcon. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but you know, it's probably going to be that card game and winning the Millennium Falcon, doing the Kessel Run, and meeting Chewbacca. Those are the three big things we know about him. They're probably just going to make that happen, you know, play out, and it's like, all right, I guess, but, like, I kind of like it being a legend as opposed to just, here's what it is. Because, like,
I think what you said about, you know, you have your 3 movies, I think that's a great point, in that, you know, the machine's going to keep running.
Yeah.
So whether someone's taking part in, like, certain fandoms, take what you like, and just enjoy that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not going to enjoy everything, and they're going to keep creating, and one of these days, if not, like, I mean, you said you didn't like, you know, Last Jedi. One of these days, let's say someone has loved everything that Star Wars has done. One of these days, they're going to create something that you're not going to like, and that's fine.
Right.
Just embrace what you love about Star Wars.
No, I definitely, like, I'm gonna see Episode 9 and just see this out. I'm gonna watch it finish, and maybe I'll see Han Solo, because Han Solo's my favorite as a kid. Might as well go see Solo. If that Boba Fett movie ever happens, maybe, because that guy's fucking awesome. But, like, that's probably going to be it. Like I've already kind of decided that I'm done with the Marvel movies after Infinity War Part 2. Maybe Spider-Man, because I like the Spider-Man movies. But, like, that's probably going to be my exit. Because, like, I just don't... I'm invested. I've seen everything at this point. I might as well see how it ends. But do I really care about them? Not really. Like, they're not my favorite things. I enjoy them. They're fun. Yeah. Black Panther looks fucking dope.
Oh, it does. It really does.
Like, I didn't see... Because, again, I'm avoiding trailers for movies that I'm just going to go see. Because, like, why? Except for I did watch the Infinity War one, because everyone was like, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, all right, that was pretty dope. But yeah, I watched I went to see Thor, which is a great movie, by the way.
Ragnarok?
I loved it. So good. They had the Black Panther trailer playing, and I was like, God damn, that looks good. Like, I was like, I was gonna see it anyway, but fuck, this looks... I mean, it looks like it's gonna be... Iron Man 1 again. I had the super suit. Bad guy. I also have the super suit. Let's fight.
That's
like
a good point.
It kind of looks like that's what's gonna be, but fuck it. It looks so cool. And like I've always liked Black Panther.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was always so cool, and like kind of the Marvel's version of Batman, except his suit just can materialize onto him, which was fucking awesome. And they do that in the trailer. I'm like, okay, I'm on board. This sounds awesome. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I don't know. I don't know. But maybe I'll want to keep watching because now they have the fucking X-Men and Fantastic Four, and
that will be insane once they bring those guys in.
Yeah, and I always like the X-Men, so maybe when they do this next, what are they calling it Phase 4? Are they calling it like a round 2? Or?
I don't know, but like the next big villain, Galactus, maybe.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
That'd be really cool if they did him not as a fucking fart.
Not as a cloud, yeah.
Because that was weird.
Very weird.
Man, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, because they could have fucking Silver Surfer show up, who I was recently thinking about. And I was like, what a weird concept. Like, how did you pitch that? You're like, so he's a space guy
on a
surfboard. And he's totally silver. And also maybe the most powerful creature in the universe. We'll get to that later.
Very
like,
powerful.
What?
Yeah.
How did that get pitched? How did that happen? That's such an interesting thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, what a weird concept. Like, I mean, I guess like surfing was like a thing. Was that like his way to be cool with the kids? I don't understand. Like, why surfing? He's so cool.
Oh,
and
very
like
cool.
they've really done a good job of like not making him a total dork, but like he could so easily be a total dork. How did that happen? It's so interesting to me. It was just like, how is such a what a weird thing to make. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the Marvel thing. I don't know, where are you standing on the Marvel stuff?
It's good and bad in the sense that, you know, going from 6 big movie studios to 5, obviously competition-wise, that's not ideal. You like having as much competition because it makes you create a better product.
Oh, I definitely don't think Deadpool would have happened if it wasn't for them struggling with the comic book licenses they had.
And, like, honestly, I think Marvel should have all their characters back in. Like, DC has all the characters, and imagine if Marvel had everyone that... If they had all their characters back, just the ridiculous shit they could do. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. It'd be so cool.
So that, I like the Marvel characters coming back, but for like a business perspective, I don't know how great it is. Because like, they're getting a shit ton of stuff.
They're getting a lot of stuff,
like the controlling state of Hulu, I heard.
Yeah, they already have 30%.
Yeah.
And now they get Fox's 30%. And the rumor is that's going to be their streaming service. That's going to be the infrastructure. So Hulu will die, and the Disney...
And it'll be reborn as the
Disney streaming service, yeah.
Yeah, because they're working on that for like a 2019 release?
I believe so, yeah. Because there's a couple of things, like I saw the other day, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was on Netflix.
Yeah.
But it's because those contracts are already in place. So I don't think anything after that is going to show up on Netflix.
Okay.
Rogue One's still on there. I noticed that.
Because now the Marvel series on Netflix, they're going to go to the streaming service, right?
See, I don't know about that because they're Netflix-funded series.
Because they're also rated R.
True.
But then again, they just said the other day that Deadpool could stay R. So maybe they'll work around like parenting, like control or something for like those
the Marvel
series.
logo is on the Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Marvel brand, but it's probably
it's the Disney brand.
Yeah.
That's the struggle.
Well, they own Miramax, which put out Clerks and shit.
True.
So like what they might do is, I would assume, is just have Marvel Studios and not keep the Disney name on there. So then Marvel Studios is like a Miramax. It's just, this is the superhero bullshit, and then we have the Miramax.
Well, yeah, because they don't show the Disney logo before Lucasfilm films and the Marvel films.
Right, they do it at the very end.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll just do that. Like, this is just its entirely own entity, owned by the greater Disney name, but go ahead, do your thing, and then, you know, Lucasfilm, go do your thing.
Yeah.
Miramax, I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
With the whole Weinstein thing. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But, you know, you do your thing. Like, they'll have these different branches. I don't know what they're going to call, like, what The Simpsons is under and, like, Avatar, like, where they label that.
Yeah, because Fox is gonna stay alive with the main channel Fox and like Fox Sports.
Yeah, it's because it's apparently legal.
And like FX. I think they're keeping FX, right?
I don't know.
It's like they're keeping.
I know they were keeping like 3 things. It was like Fox Sports, Fox News,
and Fox,
and yeah,
like the main Fox, and I
because
think
you can't own 2 news channels
and like 1 or 2 other things, and that's gonna be like a new company.
Okay, I don't know, but the big guy, what's his name? The guy who's running the top of Fox, he's going over to Disney. I think.
Murdoch? It's going over.
No, not Murdoch.
Okay. Because people hate Murdoch.
Yeah, not him. Someone else.
Okay.
That I've recognized the name of. I looked it up. I'd be able to tell you. But like, there's one of those guys is going over and take over for Iger. I think.
Bob Iger's retiring.
Maybe I'm reversing that, and Bob Iger's gonna take his spot. I forget. But yeah, I feel like
because Iger's like the king of the world right now.
Oh yeah. But I mean, he could retire and just fucking go bathe in money. His house,
true,
top to bottom, just dollar bills.
Yeah,
just make a house out of money. Like, good lord. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I didn't think they were gonna keep FX. That's why I thought Always Sunny in Philadelphia left Netflix. I thought they were pulling that to go put on the it's on Hulu.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, this must just be where this is just gonna be because Disney's gonna have all this stuff.
So they did get FX.
I assume.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Because it left. They did not renew the contract, and they've had it on there like almost since it started.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that's why. Like when I heard that, people were like, "Oh no, it's gone." I was like, "Oh, that must be like an effect of the Disney deal."
Yeah, because like we said, they didn't keep much. Fox.
Yeah, they did not keep much. I think they only kept what like legally Disney could get.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure because like I don't know if there's a rule against like other sports things, but they have ESPN, so why buy Fox Sports?
And Fox Sports is like gaining in popularity, so I think they would want to keep that as competition for ESPN.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what. The only thing I know for sure is they could not have Fox News because that is like a conflict of.
Yeah, if they had 2 major networks, Fox and ABC,
you can't own 2 or whatever.
No,
so like I can understand. I understood that part disappearing and not going away. So I don't know, but because I know. Or because the Sunny thing, I wonder. I think FX might have gone in that deal. I didn't look at the full purchase list.
Yeah.
The receipt, I didn't see that.
I think I saw some of that. It was like, whoa, this is like official.
It's crazy.
Just like 50 something billion.
Yeah, fucking insane money. Wow. Yeah, just tossed it. Like, who fucking cares?
I mean, they bought Marvel, Lucasfilm, and now 20th Century Fox.
And the Muppets.
Oh, and the Muppets. Shout out Ben Sikora.
Shout out Ben Sikora. It was the tiniest little thing. Like, this little like, hey, we're gonna buy the Muppets. Oh, that's cute. Like, that makes sense. Like, that was the one where I heard them doing that. I'm like, that makes sense. And they're like, and we're buying Star Wars. I'm like, that's insane. And we're buying Marvel. What is fucking happening?
Yeah.
And like, when the Fox deal started, there were rumors it's happening. And then like the next day, it's like, okay, those are done. That's not happening. It's illegal. That'd be crazy. Who would do this? And then like 3 days later,
it's
fucking happening. I was like, what is going on? I was like, it's just so absurd. But I hope it's good. I hope like someone I was listening to was talking about the cool things that would happen with Deadpool coming back because he could be like whoever the new Wolverine is, be like, this isn't Hugh Jackman.
Oh, he can break so many. If
he'll understand the transition.
Yeah, because I don't think Chris Evans is gonna stick around long enough for him to meet Deadpool.
Oh, but he can be like Human Torch.
What the fuck are you doing here, bro?
That would have been awesome. Like, there's so much room for him to be wonderful.
Yeah.
Didn't he post a picture of him like running through Disneyland or something? Or he's escorted out.
Yeah, he was like handcuffed and like escorted out. Yeah.
It's so good. I love what Deadpool is doing. Did you see this new Deadpool teaser?
The painting? Yeah.
Oh my god. That's my favorite thing right now.
Like, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. His Twitter is so great.
It's so great.
Yeah.
I love it so much. That whole, I was like, I was at work and just like randomly pulled it up and I watched it. I was like, this is the best thing I have ever seen as a teaser. Like, this is it's so funny. It's
we still haven't even gotten like an official trailer yet.
We have seen like 10 seconds of footage of the movie. I'm like, I'm in. I'm fucking in.
I'm in regardless.
I just had so much fun with the original Deadpool, and like the fact that Deadpool doesn't go away, I love. Oh yeah, like he's just constantly there. Thank God for Twitter being a thing, so that you can have these like character accounts. But like, Deadpool's not gone. Deadpool's just a thing that exists.
I mean, he has to suit at his house, so he can just like stream whenever and like just
so
talk as Deadpool.
I love it. I love that the suit is practical and he can just do that.
Yeah.
Like, so good. Like, what they're doing with this, like, I'm so glad he got to do this.
Yeah, I mean, since like 2004 he was trying to do this?
He's been pushing this for a long time.
Yeah.
I bet he was the one who leaked it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, because he seems like the kind of guy who understands the internet, and he's like, this will get made. I will get this made if I fucking put this on the internet. Like,
but if it wasn't him, that guy's just feel fucking great.
oh, he's gonna be the top of the world.
That, yeah.
He's like, I am a hero. I am a fuck. Oh,
You're welcome, internet.
yeah.
Wherever he is.
Like, Deadpool as a merchandising brand, I'm not a huge fan of. Like, I wouldn't buy, like, there's a woman in my office who has like a ton of Deadpool shit. I'm like, wow. Like, I love the character, but like, I don't think I'd have, like, wear a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, have a blanket all at my desk with a couple of fucking Funko Pops of Deadpool.
With like his logo.
Yeah, like everywhere. I'm like, I love this guy, but like, I don't think I'm obsessed with him.
No,
like,
yeah.
I really like the fact that he is, he's just taking the piss out of this whole like movement of like, he is so needed right now because superhero movies are so big and there's such a
so
big
many,
deal.
yeah.
So yeah, and he's just like, literally just taking the piss out of it. He's just like, no, I can be the silly, goofy one, and it just works. It's just so
Yeah, because he makes fun of the genre.
yeah, while being a perfect representation of the genre. It's so great.
Like the superhero landing shit.
yeah, I was just thinking about that.
It was so true.
Yeah, it was so good.
Like, oh, it's rough on the knees. Or whatever the fuck he said.
yeah, it was so good, and just like, yeah, I'm so glad he got a chance to do that, and like, I'm just so excited for the second one. I really hope he gets to do this. Forever.
I hope he can just run with this and like get a giant series of movies.
That'd be so great, or like a TV show or something.
Yeah,
I'd be all about it. Cause like, I didn't think I wanted more. Like, and then I didn't think I even wanted it. I was like, I'll go see this. I was like, this is amazing, and then saw it like a second time, and then like, it's just so fun, and like, I don't know. We'll see where this all goes. I'm very excited. Got Spawn coming out. That's a crazy thing. Oh yeah,
who is Spawn?
I don't know who it is, but Todd McFarlane is writing and directing it. So,
because it's not the guy from the original, is it? Michael Jai White, or is that his name?
I don't know his name. What the fuck is his name? The guy who played the Arbiter in Halo 1 or Halo 2, Halo 3. David Keith or something. He was the voice of Spawn in the cartoon. I think he's coming back to voice the character again, but I don't know who's playing like him when he's alive. Although they might not even do that. They might just, I don't know. Spawn's weird because like he's been around forever, so like I feel like people understand more or less his origin. Also, his origin is not very complicated. It's like, or whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah. So Michael Jai White was the original Spawn.
Okay.
And let's see, pulling up the reboot.
Very excited. Spawn was my favorite superhero as a kid because I was a weird kid.
It will begin filming in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, no thing about casting.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, but I don't know if I've seen Spawn. Like, I know I've seen it on TV a few times, but I haven't like sat down and watched it yet. Like the '97.
Yeah. I've read some of the comic and I watched the HBO show. Not the completion, but most of it. That show is not great.
Mm-hmm.
It's my major complaint with it is you can tell they had a low budget because like a lot of it is a lot of still images.
Okay.
There's a couple parts where Spawn is talking, but because it's Spawn, he's like in the shadows, his cape is up, so you can't even see his face. Although he also wears a mask, you couldn't even see that anyway. But like he's just shrouded in darkness, and you just see his green eyes, which is fucking really cool looking. But that kind of sentiment carries throughout the whole series, and you can kind of see that like, okay, they really struggled with budget, and I don't know if they understood. Like it was kind of similar to what we were saying with like the Star Wars and the Warcraft stuff. It's like it was kind of written that you knew what the comics were about because it follows the first few comics like pretty much verbatim with like the pedophile child murderer guy and like all this. Like it follows that shit. Like that's like the first season. That's like the main villain, and like him just rediscovering like who am I? Who is Wanda? Why do I keep thinking this name? And it's like, oh, it's my wife. Why do I know my wife? What happened to me? Who am I? Like what? Why do I like? And so it's him like it's that whole first arc gets covered in the first season, but like not. It was before like HBO was like a real hotness, so like it's only a half-hour episodes. Probably would have done better if it had full hours. So I'd be curious to see what they do. I don't know how much of the origin story even matters for Spawn because like that's not the interesting part, Just, but like I don't know. Well, I'll be curious to see what they do. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Be interesting.
So this is the holiday special.
Oh, it sure is.
Should we get into some Christmas?
Oh, we sure should.
So
let's bring some cheer into this.
When I think of Christmas specials, obviously there's a lot of categories. There
it sure is. Just thinking about this
There's
today.
episodes and like live action versus animated for these series, and then there's like the straight up Christmas specials, which I only consider like.
Oh, you say like the hour long ones or something?
Yeah, and which I consider animated. I think otherwise it's like Christmas movies, like because there's the stop motion from like the 70s, and then there's like the straight up animation that obviously was around back then, but also has like continued into today. Because I don't know if like how common the stop motion specials are anymore.
It's so expensive.
Yeah,
but those old ones, are they Reichen and Bot, whatever?
Yeah, it's like two.
Yeah. Found out mostly animated in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the two guys, I thought they were American.
No, they shipped out Rudolph was like animated in Japan.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, like they were like, we need, I don't know, and like the company that did it is the was it Toei, the guys who do like Godzilla and shit.
Yeah.
It was like them, I think. I looked this up.
Wow.
Like if you look up like Rudolph and you look at like the Wikipedia, like a couple of the names in that like first block are like Japanese.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
So like I just found that out like a couple of years ago. Like I think it was last year I found that out. But,
Now in that group, especially like the old stop motion, what would you say would be your favorite?
Oh, those.
Because I would say mine when it comes to those would be The Year Without a Santa Claus with the Heat Miser and
yeah, that's probably mine too. Because I recently Rudolph's too long. It's so slow. It's so long. It's like almost an hour, but it feels like an eternity. Because like it's just a lot of. It moves at the pace of the animation. It's just so slow, and people are like a lot of times you'll hear people talking, and then they kind of just like, or like the one scene that always sticks out in my mind is when they're all sleeping in that weird bed thing. I don't know how they found a house, but they randomly sleeping in like a bed. Maybe it's when they're on the island. I don't remember the context.
You know, I come to think of it, I don't know the last time I saw Rudolph.
Oh, really?
'Cause that's not like a go-to for me. Like when it comes to like Christmas time.
I think I've seen it a million times, but there's a part where they're like,
I'm sure I have, but not recently.
And like it's like they could cut like 2 seconds off the end of that because it's just not talking, and like the screen is going black. It's like, all right, like, just speed this up a little bit. We can do something. Like, why is it? So that one I'm not a huge fan of. Year of the Santa Claus I do like because those two, the Heat Miser and they're interesting characters. It's just kind of cool, like. It's a cool universe they kind of make.
Oh, definitely. Like with their mom's Mother Nature.
Yeah, like it's a cool concept.
Now, is it Snow Miser?
I think so.
Heat Miser and Snow Miser, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I should definitely know that. I'm sorry, people, but
it's been a long time since I've seen that one though.
I usually watch that like every year, but and we have like a snowman at home. You press a button, it sings
their song,
the Snow Miser song. I think I have to look that up now. But I think that one it's very different in the sense of like it conquers the same thing of people not believing in Santa Claus and them trying to like get people to believe, and they're like, all right, we'll make it snow here and then you'll know.
Right.
And that's what they do.
What's the one where you see Santa be raised?
Oh, Santa Claus is coming to town. I love
that one too.
Yeah.
That one I like a lot.
With the Winter Warlock and his like penguin sidekick Topper.
Yes.
I'd say that's one of my favorites.
That one I like a lot. I like that one a lot. Humanizes Santa, which I mean, do you really need to anymore? But whatever, I enjoy it.
Quick story about that one.
Yep.
So I was notorious in college for like when our workout days, like on the track, all my reps would suck besides like the last one. And if my second to last one was like okay, starting to get a little better, I would think of the Winter Warlock and Santa Claus is coming to town at Santa's like wedding day, and he's like, if I could just have a little bit more magic, and then like makes the tree light up. And it's like the first Christmas tree. I would think that if I could just have a little bit more magic, so I could finish this workout. And that kind of like would induce a runner's high. Like people talk about runner's high. Like I think it's an actual.
You know
thing.
what? I can believe that because so I don't know how much of the show you've been listening to recently, but I read a lot of manga, like a lot.
Okay.
And this week, Shonen Jump, which is the big publication in Japan, went on break for Christmas. And I don't have any to read. And so I have no, like, watching all these kids, like, be like, we're going to be the best, we're going to train, actually makes me be like, I don't really want to work out. Like, I will, like, I mean, I, like, work out and stuff to anime music and, like, all that stuff because it just fucking amps me up. But not having it, like, constantly something to read, I'm like, oh, I'm not, like, feeling it as much. And so, like, I can totally understand that. Like, my inspiration comes from fucking cartoons, fucking, Chinese finger paintings over here, fucking working out and being all fucking tough and stuff.
Yeah,
so I can kind of see that. That makes
It
sense.
wasn't like a common thing, but like when I get to like this time of year, like November, like December workouts, that thought would just come into my mind. I'd get like this numbing feeling, like I was the Winter Warlock with like lighting up the first Christmas tree. I was like, I was about to fuck shit up.
No, yeah, I totally get that. Cause yeah, like I just like I haven't had like I've been thinking about like I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling so like nah. But like if I fucking read My Hero Academia and I'm like I'm gonna be fucking I'm definitely like I'm gonna fucking punch some full
Get
fucking
fucking
shit.
yoked, bro.
Yeah, let's just fucking go. Like it's I don't know. It's weird. I'd recently been thinking about that because I was like, man, I haven't done like it all this week, and I was like, what is the difference? Oh, nothing came out. Like I just feel empty. But yeah, all right, that's pretty cool. But yeah, did you find out it was Snow Miser?
Oh, it was. Yes,
Okay, yeah.
it was not. We were right.
Okay,
but
good.
yeah, I was thinking.
I always think of Batman and Robin when it comes to that movie because they fucking Mr. Freeze just watches that one scene. I'm like, what a movie! What a movie!
I'd say, what was I gonna say? Yeah, just like I was like, is it Cold Miser? I was like, no, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
It's definitely Snow Miser. But then you get into like the straight up animation, and one of my favorites is All of the Other Reindeer. I don't know.
Oh
you
my
ever see
god,
that?
that's a great one.
Love it. I
haven't seen that
I
in
have to
forever.
watch that every year. If I
have
don't,
not seen that in forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
because I just remember like finding that at like either like I might have been like 5 years old. I think like we had a babysitter and it was on, and I was just like, this is great.
Yeah.
It was such a unique story.
It's so interesting.
And it's like hadn't been done before, and like I
Yeah.
know it was a book before, and like I think the people who made like Matt Groening, who made The Simpsons.
Oh, he makes this one?
I think he made All the Other Reindeer,
No
or like he
shit.
directed it or something, produced it maybe.
Interesting.
But-
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's just a fun and unique take
It's so
on
interesting.
Christmas.
Yeah. Like when they get to the North Pole and it's like everyone just kind of knows Santa and
Yeah.
like they report on him and it's like, how's it going? He's like, well, not great. Like, the fucking reindeer or whatever. Like that was really like, yeah, because I think I saw that like I was in elementary school, and for some reason, I don't remember why this happened, but we went to another class's. I went to St. Paul's, so everything was one class per grade. So we went to another class's room and watched that movie.
All the Other Reindeer.
And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, why does no one ever talk about this?
I
It's
know.
so interesting. It's so much different.
And
Like,
Cartoon Network had it on the air like forever, and it was great. And I probably like a few years ago they just took it off. And
I'm going to air some grievances about Cartoon Network's holiday season right
Yeah.
now. They don't fucking do what really matters.
They used to have like every channel used to have like a just solid lineup of
Of just
holiday
their
episodes.
classics, and they would just add to that list.
Yeah, like it didn't even have to be shows that were on anymore. They
No,
would
yeah,
bring them
they would just
back
bring them
for
back
Christmas
for that,
time, which would be great.
Which for me, like even shit like what's the fucking rapping elf one?
Rapping Elf one.
Do you know what I'm talking
It's
about?
a special.
It is special. I'll just Google it.
Rapping. Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking like just going back, like just being able to turn on like I can remember just being in my grandmother's house for like Christmas Eve.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm watching, Ed and Eddie's been off the air for fucking 6 years, but I'm watching the Ed and Eddie Christmas special. I'm watching the Johnny Bravo one comes up, like fucking the best one.
Yeah, they don't air that anymore either. Like
Yeah, it's-
Nickelodeon, they don't put on Jimmy Neutron's Christmas episode anymore, which I think is a
Really?
great episode. Yeah, we can get into that in a little bit.
That's so sad. I don't understand why they like. I mean, I get why, because obviously kids don't know any of this stuff, but
because like it's getting to a point when Jimmy Neutron's been off the air for like 10 years now. So I get why you wouldn't air the Christmas, but I feel like you could have at least aired it for a little, because it's been years since I feel like they put that on.
the night before Christmas.
The night, that's the name of the.
Yes, I'll see if I can find a picture of it.
Yeah.
That's the cover.
Let me see. I have not seen that.
Really? They
Yeah.
used to randomly play it. It's garbage. It's
Uh-huh.
super bad. But it warms my heart when it fucking
Yeah.
would come on. I'm like, okay, cool. It's Christmas. No, fucking grandma got ran over a reindeer.
That they used to pair that with Olive. So
Yeah.
if that was on, it's like, oh sweet, Olive's gonna be on next. Or like, damn, I
Yeah.
just missed Olive, but I knew Olive was on.
Right, exactly. And it was like, I can remember just sitting there in my grandmother's house and like, it's Christmas Eve or whatever, and these movies are playing, and it's just like, it just feels like home. It feels so good.
It does feel good, and it's not like there's good and bad with nostalgia, but that is definitely like the great part of
Yeah.
nostalgia. Just like feeling like a kid again.
Yeah.
And, like thinking back to like those old Christmases when you did believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And you just such like a warming feeling,
As a tangent, what caused you to stop believing in Santa Claus? It'd be interesting to hear that.
Oh,
What was your story? How'd you realize it?
see, the thing is, like Matt and I, I'm sure Emily too, we don't have a story.
Really?
I remember like specific conversation like in 4th grade, me, Matt, Dave Napick, and someone else.
Okay.
And like me, Matt, and the other kid, I want to say Jordan, but Jordan wasn't on the bus with us. He had like a different route. So
Okay.
I forget who it was. But we were saying like, what do you think the parents do it? and there was like a hint of sarcasm.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like we did believe in Santa, but like it wouldn't have shocked us that there wasn't a Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll say that was 04. I'll say that was our last Christmas like believing in Santa, because
Really?
like I'll say like maybe like 25% sarcasm and like us talking to Dave Nappy. He's like, "What do you mean you guys still believe in Santa?" I was like, "What? Come on."
Yeah.
You think the parents? You think the parents
interesting.
could do that in one night?
Huh.
But yeah, it was just kind of like there wasn't a moment. It was just like a realization.
Okay.
Like as we got older, that this Santa guy's just not like we never even like talked about it. It was just like something we just took as fact that Santa's not real. But like I don't even think we ever like said that, because like the sarcasm grew as we got older.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it grew to like 100%. Like even like we're in just older. It's like because like kids, like they wouldn't like make jokes about Santa. But it was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Santa's coming to my house. What are you talking about? Even though like we know 100% that Santa's not real, but it's just fun. It's
Right,
fun
yeah,
to like
yeah,
talk about Santa as if he's real.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have a story?
Yeah, actually, I do. Before we didn't live here at the time. We lived at the other house we had back in Schenectady, and I can't even tell you why I was in the basement. We were about to leave to go somewhere, like my grandmother or something, for Christmas Eve, and for whatever reason, I was just in the basement. And the way our basement used to be set up, it was just like a giant typical like basement area where it was just all concrete floors and just a bunch of bullshit. And then there was like a back room that had like chicken wire up for some reason. And that was like my dad's space, but no one really ever went in there.
Yeah.
And then there was like a room immediately to your right that was like this long hallway that was like, I don't even know what was in there either, but we had the seat thing. And then if you went like down the stairs and then you took a right from the stairs, walk forward, there was a door that led to what we called the paint room. And my parents would just keep old paint cans in there because they basically repainted like the whole house. So they kept a lot of shit from that. And then you turn right, you got into the washing dryers. So for whatever fucking reason, I was just compelled. I don't know, maybe the door was open, but that paint room, which I had no reason to ever go into, I just opened the door and I saw every present. And I was like, oh shit. But a couple years before, Christmas Eve, we're sitting down at the kitchen table, and we're writing lists for Santa. I thought to myself, this is a little too late. He'll never get this. And I write down something to the effect of like a wrestling ring, because I was really into wrestling back then, and I wanted like a play wrestling ring.
Yeah.
And I got one, and I was like, fuck, that motherfucker works. Like that fucking, holy shit. Okay, he's totally real. So when I opened the door and I saw that stuff, I was like, oh shit. It was almost like those things where when you see something, you're like, I shouldn't be seeing this. And I was like, this is bad. And I closed the door, and I was like, what does this mean? I'm like, but he fucking nailed it with the fucking wrestling ring. And so like for like maybe like another year, I convinced myself like maybe there's more to it.
Yeah.
I don't know
more to
why.
the story,
I was like, maybe there's more. Maybe they do deliver like maybe they put it out, but maybe he delivers it early. I don't know. Maybe that makes more sense. The fact that he can actually do this stuff. And then I started thinking like over that year, like, well, like, why would he make video games? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, stuff like that. And I started, like, piecing it out. And then, like, a couple months, like, maybe it was, like, the middle of the year of that next year. Maybe it was, like, 6 months I was able to convince myself. I asked my mom, I was like, he real? And she was like, no, he's not. I was like, okay. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it up for Mike and Ben. Like, I'm not ruin it for them. So, like, I always would talk about it as if it was real forever. And then eventually it just kind of petered out.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm glad, like, it was just a natural thing with time, like, me not believing in Santa. Because I know some people, like, had, like, a scarring experience when it came to, like, finding out Santa was real. So, like, yeah, I'm not doing Santa with my kids. Like, that sucked when I found out. It's like, so I feel sorry for them that they had that moment, and that I was able to just go through life, like, and naturally it came to a point when I didn't believe in Santa, but I don't regret
No, I don't regret it at all.
Like,
either.
I'm glad my parents did that for me.
Oh yeah, I had great times with it.
The feeling of not knowing in a sense of like what we believed in, knowing that Santa was out there, and that this magic was in this world, this very like dark and depressing world sometimes.
Yeah,
I think is a great feeling that. If you put that feeling in a bottle, like that's $1 trillion industry.
Oh yeah.
Unreal. Just you miss that. That's probably the one thing I miss about being a kid. Just that feeling, that sense of wonder that anything can happen in the world. I mean, I still think that in the sense of like my career, like I can do whatever the hell I want to do if I work hard, but not in a sense of like magic.
Right.
And it's because it's more. I guess the only sense of magic I have now is more like destiny.
Right.
I'm gonna take my destiny in my hands.
Right.
And like if I work hard, maybe something epic could happen.
Right. And like, definitely for like Christmas sake, it's like, it's nice when all of a sudden, you get the gift that you wanted or something. Like you have to tell someone, like that is nice. And like I try to almost never ask like Mike and Ben what they want. I just try to find like this is the thing they would like but wouldn't have. Like so I try to, because that's the one thing I mean it's I like being able to do it with be like I can get exactly what I want from my parents.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it takes a little bit away from it where it's like, oh, I kind of wish like I wouldn't know, but like I know exactly what I'm gonna get. You know.
I feel the exact same way, like telling my mom like what I want. Like right now, I don't think I'll be shocked by anything underneath the tree. Right. And that is a great feeling, knowing like, oh my god, like analyzing the shapes, like, what could this be? I have no idea.
I really miss that.
And like opening up, like, oh, how do you know? Like, this is awesome. I didn't ask for this, but this is exactly insane.
That's the kind of thing that I like. That's the magic of Christmas that I still enjoy. Like being able to like when I go shop for Mike and Ben, I try to get stuff that they didn't necessarily ask for. Maybe they've mentioned. I go, oh right, that thing. Ben's stressful because I like. Ben likes his shit. He likes his shit. If you get just slightly off his shit, he's not happy. And I'm like, oh, it's a lot of work to fucking please Ben. But like, I enjoy it. I like it's fun to try to figure it out and work out the puzzle and be like, is this something they really want? Like, you know, whatever. And so trying to work that out. But like, yeah, like I was there with my mom, but got my Christmas gift for me. You know, like I was like, I want this specific thing, and then I was like, all right, well, I'll help you get it because it's weird. You know, it's just like I got the Switch for you know.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I don't know if you're gonna know exactly what this is, and like. I kept pushing. I was like, it's going to sell out. Like, so we need to go like now. So we got like November. I'm like, you don't understand the industry. So you're not going to know that this is going to happen. Like, this thing's going to disappear in a few months. There's a bunch now. We should go now. So like, but I was there and I was like, all right, it's going to be nice to have. I'm very, very grateful that I'm going to get it. But it's like, the mystery is gone, so there's a bit of a like, oh man.
Yeah, like a couple years, maybe 2 years ago, maybe last year, Matt got me like a Furman singlet, like a singlet that he, it wasn't like his singlet, but a singlet that his team like raced in. And that was great.
That's a cool thing.
I did not expect getting that at all, and I was like, you know, that feeling of like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff I always really like, and you know, there's still that wonderment and stuff like that.
Oh, there definitely is. Like, I still love Christmas. Like, my family's very much, like, into the holiday. I think that comes from, like, my mom's mom, you know, my grandma Mary, who passed away, but still, she, like, loved the holidays. I think that's going to transfer to me. Like, I'm going all out with decorations, like, with my house. Like, I'm going to bake cookies. There's going to be shit ton decorations inside the house, too.
Oh, yeah.
I just, you know, it just makes it feel really nice and... Again, like brings you back to like when you were a kid, but not in like living in the past way. More of just like embracing what was great about being a kid.
Just for a moment having that like that tinge of innocence.
Yeah,
feels really nice.
It does.
You know, like, oh, this is really great. This is awesome.
Like today, I was helping my mom bake cookies. She was like, "Do you think you'll do this when you're?" I was like, "Oh, I'm definitely doing this. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's great."
Because it's just like. And the nice thing about that too, like especially like a cookies thing, it brings people together to fucking just do shit. You know, it's a good time. Like there's a lot of nice stuff that comes from that kind of stuff, and so like I definitely, there's definitely still some Christmas magic to it. Like for a while, only because I specifically wanted this one thing, and I want to make sure it happened. But usually what I do is I just like give my parents an Amazon wish list. And I'm like, anything on here I would love to have. This is stuff I plan to get, but just haven't pulled the trigger on. Go ahead, go wild. And so. That adds some mystery to it. I'm like, you know, it's similar to like giving a Christmas list to someone that's like a Santa or whatever, but like...
Oh, we still do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we like write our list to Santa and give them to my mom, Yeah,
so like that is what I've been doing the last few years where I'm like, there's nothing specifically I want, but here's a bunch of shit I've been like, I mark down because I'm like, I should get this later. And I'm like, here, go ahead and do this and stuff. So it's like, it's always nice to just like have something like that, you know. So like, there's definitely like still the room for like, you know, mystery and stuff like that. But I'll have the other reindeer and other Christmas specials.
Yeah. So when it comes to like animated TV series, what's your favorite besides Johnny Bravo?
Of course,
we'll get into Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo is.
But
God bless.
What episode of a show comes to mind?
The one that warms me up so much just thinking about it is the Ed, and Eddie one.
Oh, now I know I've seen it. Can you like fill me in again though a little bit?
They basically recreate like the nativity, and they go through that whole process of like move. I forget what they're moving. Is it a jawbreaker or something? I don't remember. They're trying to move something. And then they go through the whole process, and the cankers show up, and they got some franks and cents, like hot dog and whatever. And then I forget what, a fur. They have fur and then something else. And like they have like and it ends with like Double D coming through the roof, and like he looks like an angel, and like Eddie's the baby and the thing, and like they recreate this whole scene. It's just, they're in Ralph's like barn, so there's the barn animals there. Ralph has like a weird like Eastern European holiday that's not Christmas. I forget exactly the details of it, but like it's just makes me so happy just to see that one. I'm like, this is warms me up.
See, I love I mean, if they kept Jimmy Neutron around, it would have been like the holy trinity of Nickelodeon when it comes to SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, and Jimmy Neutron. But obviously Jimmy Neutron got canceled. But like the SpongeBob special, fucking great.
Is that the one where they the first Christmas?
The first Christmas, yeah.
I love that one.
So great. Like Santa's coming tonight.
Yeah.
We still say that every year. It's great.
That's so good.
Fairly Odd Parents, like the Christmas every day, and like it keeps me. And like Mr. Turner's like just obsessed with eggnog. He cares more about the eggnog than Timmy. He's like, they say, "We love you, Noggy," at the end of Christmas.
That show did such a great job of having the parents be completely like not even give a fuck about Timmy. Like they always were into something so about their own lives and some stupid little thing. It was so
and like
so
all
good.
these like the post office and like every store is shut down and like Timmy's dad is there talking about eggnog at each place and. But
that is such a good one.
Yeah, those are still on though, but like Jimmy Neutron isn't. And that
Right.
one, I think
Which one was that? I
it
don't
shows the gold. We do not deserve Hugh Neutron. He is so great and so underrated. So Jimmy like goes to the North Pole to prove that Santa's not real. And he has like this atom scrambler or something, scrambles Santa's atoms so he's like out of commission. And the elves are like, "Fuck you, kid. Now you got to be Santa. Deliver all these gifts." And Jimmy's like, "Oh, I guess I will." But the news covers this and Hugh sees this. He's like, "Oh my god, my son destroyed Christmas. I have to like raise the the holiday cheer." So he invents a holiday called Pule, because he loves pie. Combining pie and Yule to form Pule. And he there's a song.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah, if you YouTube the song though, there's only like one scene, not the full song. The full song is only in this weird video with this like kid dancing to it.
It's weird.
Very weird. Like I played it just to like hear the song in the background for a little bit, just to be sure that it was that, because like this is very obscure.
Yeah,
it was. I watched it for like 15 seconds, and it was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
I can imagine.
And it was like a re-upload. It said previously uploaded on whatever it was, like years before. It's like you uploaded this twice. This weird video of you dancing to the Pule song. But anyway,
super weird.
So Hugh decides to like be Santa Claus and like bring pies to these people. So he like goes into their houses and they beat him up.
Yes.
And he just fails miserably.
Yes.
Yeah, but Hugh Neutron, man, such a great character.
So good.
And I wish Jimmy Neutron just stayed on longer so Hugh would have a bigger legacy than like being a meme.
Yeah.
He's like pretty big on YouTube with like very obscure videos. But I think he was such a great character.
I love some of the dads within that, like the Nickelodeon shit.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I love Mr. Turner.
Oh yeah, Mr.
Dad
Turner's
or whatever
great.
they call him.
Yeah.
Like,
that when he goes to the past, he's like, "But everybody calls me Dad."
Yeah. I fucking love him. He's so funny, and like the mom's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh god, the parents of that show are so good. I should watch that fucking. I was last year. I was in the mall, Conley Center. The old FYE in there had a DVD of like 4 of the Cartoon Network like specials. It was like the Ed and Eddie one, the Johnny Bravo one, and 2 others. I can't
Kids
remember
Next
what they were.
Door, maybe?
Maybe it was Kids Next Door, and I can't remember what it's definitely 4. I was like, fuck, I really should get this. Like $2. I was like, I don't know.
Wow.
I was like, it's on everything's online, so I really cared, and I really should have got it because I just wish I had it. Because
Kids Next Door, I think that one, like the Delightful Children from Down the Lane, like the villain kids, you remember them?
Yeah.
I think they stole something from Santa, and like Santa, they were dressed as like the Kids Next Door. So Santa's task force, which is basically the X-Men.
Yes.
Like, I think Wolverine was wintergreen.
Yes,
and instead of adamantium, it was peppermintium.
Yes.
And Nightcrawler was the Nutcracker. And they had, like, Stan Lee, a guy doing an impression of Stan Lee, like, commentating on this and, like, calling people true believers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was...
I haven't seen that forever.
I know. It was very, I think I saw it, like, a few years ago, just... Because I completely forgot about, like, the X-Men aspect of it.
I totally forgot about that. Now you mentioned the Wolverine character, I totally remember this. He popped out the candy canes and shit. Yeah.
I think, like, before X-Men, the animated series, for, like, I think they might have only had a pilot. It was called Pride of the X-Men. And it's the style of it is the Kids Next Door special. Like Stan Lee, like actually Stan Lee, narrates it. He's like, "Hello, true believers, let's go into like this X-Men adventure."
So this whole Kids Next Door thing is a parody of that?
Yes,
That's amazing.
It starts with a comic book. I don't think the X-Men show did that, but it starts with a comic book. It opens up and like Stan Lee's like, hey, true believers, I got a story for you. And like every time like an X-Men character, the X-Men, like Santa's X-Men show up, he introduces them. He's like Wintergreen and like Nutcracker, and he gives like their origin.
That's fucking awesome. I need to find that one.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to watch that this year.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
Like Wintergreen's just like a badass, and and like instead of claws, he has candy canes.
Yes, I remember this. That's so awesome. I think I don't remember the parody aspect of it. I think I was just like, oh, it's because Kids Next Door did it a lot where they would reference other pop culture, but I don't think I knew
like
the origin.
Stanley.
I don't think I put all that together as a kid. That's amazing. I love that idea. Wow, that's wonderful. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's so many like great Christmas episodes out there, whether it's live action, like Community has a great one too. Actually, I think they have a couple.
Oh, I love the Community one.
Now, which one? Because there's the one when Abed has the nervous breakdown and everything's claymation. There's the one when they do the Glee Club, but Glee is like a disease, and they all become obsessed with the regionals.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of the one.
There's also the first one where they throw like a Christmas party.
I'm thinking of that one. That's the one I'm thinking of. That's
like when they become basically a family. That's the one that kind of like officially brings them together.
And then like fucking Chevy Chase is talking to the Jewish girl, and he says something to the fact of like I'm not doing that Jew thing, and then she's like, it's not the Jew thing, it's like Jewy or something. He like makes some joke like that. I'm like,
that says it to Annie, right?
Yes, and I fucking lost it when he's like so out of touch. He's like, what do you call it, Jewy? And I was like, oh my god, that killed me. I just actually watched the show because now I know that Dan Harmon wrote it.
Yeah,
I enjoy Rick and Morty a lot, and like that just be a fun.
I watched Community like in the original run, and I just rewatched it last year when I was in London because I didn't have TV.
Right,
you know what? It's been years now. Let me rewatch Community. It's lived up. It was still fucking great.
The only time I've ever watched it, it was with my parents, and it was just me and Ben for some reason. I think maybe Mike was there, but I only remember Ben because basically what ended up happening was my dad got to some work function, so we went to some hotel that was like an old giant house basically. So like it was very old. But it was gigantic. It was like the size of a normal hotel, but it was previously a house. Like it was that big. And Ben, the only reason I remember Ben being there is because we, in the bathroom, there was like a pole thing you could take, and that was for like old people that fell in the bathroom to like tell people to come up and get them.
Oh wow!
So like Ben didn't know what it was.
Like a life alert in the bathroom.
Yeah, it was literally a bathroom life alert. Ben didn't know what it was because he was a lot younger, so he just pulled it.
Yeah.
And then like people came to the door, and Ben for years, he doesn't do it as much now, but literally for 15 years of Ben's life, maybe even more. 18 years. Ben would, anytime someone came to the door, Ben would scream, panic, and run away and go hide.
What?
All the time. So I remember Ben doing that and him running away, and I was the oldest one, so I went to them, I'm like, hello? And they're like, did someone fall? And then they saw the room, they're like, it's just children. And I was like, oh no, sorry. Like, oh, we got to fix the thing in the bathroom, don't pull that. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. But at that event, they had a community marathon, so I watched a bunch of episodes. Oh, wow. And it was like, I was with like the paintball one. The Christmas one was on. I think that was the one I started with. That was the first one that was on there. So I don't think I saw the beginning of that one. And there was like, I think I watched like 6 or 7 episodes, but I remember the paintball one specifically. I'm like, this is really funny. This is a really good idea. And the Christmas one, because that Jew joke fucking killed me. It was so funny.
Yeah, they do paintball a few times. I think first season, second season, and maybe like 2 more times after that.
Okay. How many seasons are there?
6.
Oh, was it the 6 seasons of the movie?
Yeah. The 6th season was on Yahoo Screen because NBC canceled it.
Oh, okay.
And like being a Community fan was pretty stressful at points because it was always like on the bubble.
Oh, okay.
And, like it's weird, like all these people are finding it now with streaming and all this, like, but where were you?
Yeah.
Because like really, like you didn't know, like it made Community that much better, like when it came back, in a sense, because like one year it was supposed to come back October 19th, it got moved to like February.
Okay.
And like one of the ads was like October 19th is actually February, just remember that or something like that. And I realized that. Like when I finished it again, I was a little bit more emotional this time because when the 6th season happened, I was just relieved to have it again.
Right.
Like so when when it came out, when I watched it, I was just like, oh, that was great. I'm glad I got to watch more Community. But then this time around, like the finality of it, it hit me more because it wasn't like this. There wasn't a struggle to keep it on the air. Or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You like almost feeling like you were part of that journey.
Yeah.
Where did you watch it all?
Like last year in London?
Yeah.
It It was like a Foot Locker website. Foot Locker
Oh, okay,
fit or something like that.
Yeah, Ben uses that all the time. Okay. I just don't know if there's a place you can just find it.
Yeah, because it's not on Netflix.
Yeah, I know it's not on Netflix. Maybe it's on Hulu, but I'm not paying for that bullshit. Yeah, because I really do want to watch it.
No, it's definitely.
I really like Dan Harmon's work, and I mean, yeah, you seem to be a huge fan, so I'm definitely take that.
I think Dan, there was some drama with him and Chevy. He wasn't around for the 4th season, but he comes back for the 5th.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, so I'd say probably like 2 and 5 are my favorite seasons.
Okay.
But yeah, there's so many good episodes. Like I still think like season 4 is pretty good.
Apparently, Chevy Chase is kind of hard to work with.
I've heard stories.
I could understand that maybe Dan Harmon's like fuck this, but
no, definitely recommend it.
Okay, cool. Cause yeah, I just enjoy like the general pacing of Rick and Morty, and it's like the humor in it. So to get more of that, and a lot of people now that Rick and Morty's become so big, a lot of people keep bringing up Community as like Dan Harmon, the sort of creator of Community and Rick and Morty, like these 2 great shows, and and here's this because I watch a lot of like video essays on writing.
Okay.
Even though I never write, I don't know why. I just like the production of the film. I think it's fun. And so like a lot of times he comes up in stuff like The Hero's Journey, because he's a big proprietor of that, and like just comedy writing stuff. So he'll show up in a lot of these things for like this is how how he interprets the hero's journey and why he like did you watch Rick and Morty?
No, I've only seen a couple episodes.
Okay, there's a episode in season 3 that he's very upset he did. He thinks he fucked it up, and he's like, I ruined the show. Blah, blah, blah.
Really?
Not he's partially being dramatic. It was like a convention panel, but he was like, I'm sorry, I fucked up that episode. It's my fault. Fucked up everything, and it's because it doesn't follow the hero's journey. That like someone broke it down beat by beat. It was like a whole thing of like why this episode is considered the worst by him, and so he basically started with like, here's how it works in most episodes. Now we're gonna go through this episode beat by beat, and we're gonna show you why it stops early and like it skips steps and then goes backwards and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, okay, I can totally see this. It's not a great episode. It's kind of weird, but like there's no resolution. Like it kind of just ends, and I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense. I could see why he would sit there and be like, fuck, I really fucked this up. Like he tried something a little different, but it's pretty funny. It's a pretty good show. I'd recommend it. I bought it on Amazon, so trying to be responsible adult.
It's a little intimidating. They have a very intense fandom.
Yeah,
like with that Szechuan sauce, they went in the Rick and Morty fans.
That was crazy.
I mean, McDonald's fucked up with the promotion they did, how much they had.
Yeah,
like they completely fucked up. But like some of the reactions from the fans
were nuts.
Yeah,
that was a little too intense.
Like they should have been like, "What the fuck, McDonald's?" Not like stomping on the counter, like yelling Rick and Morty references. It's like, dude,
don't get that shit.
Take a chill pill, bro.
A lot of there was a couple clips when that was going around of like a bunch of people dressed as Rick, and like one guy had a Pickle Rick tattoo. And they like picked him up and just screamed Pickle Rick over and over again, and were like chanting like a cult almost. I was like, good lord.
It seems like a cult sometimes.
Yeah. Have you seen that kind of famous post now of like, you have to have like a higher IQ to like Rick and Morty?
No.
Oh, it's like this fucking...
Is it like condescending?
Yeah, it's like, I feel so bad for people who say they're fans of Rick and Morty but don't even understand quantum physics. And it's like, it's become like a meme within like the Rick and Morty fans to be like, I like Rick and Morty because I have a higher intelligence, stuff like that. And like, of course, I have entire intelligence
because I'm superior.
Exactly. Yeah. So they'll just like there are self-aware fans that are enjoying this like insanity, but I can totally understand that because I have definitely walked away from shows or never even looked towards them because their fan base is just gross or like I just can't stand them. Like I've never watched Steven Universe.
I've never either.
Because the fan base is just absurd to me. They're very similar and like they just a lot of the same nonsense, not to the extent of like obstructing like businesses, but like still like very like rabid and like I'm not doing. Also, it looks gross to me. I don't like their style. Yeah,
there's a lot of Cartoon Network now that I don't really know what's going on there, and I don't really have like any interest in like watching their shows.
I mean, the first time I ever felt old was when I was in college and I turned on the Disney Channel and I didn't know what show was on. I was like, what the fuck happened to me?
Yeah, I don't know like any Disney Channel shows.
Can't tell you what's going on.
Like
when Jake Paul got famous, like famous from Berserk. I'm like, is that a show? The fuck are we talking about?
I knew him from like YouTube, and then Matt was like, I got a surprise for you. This was over the summer. It was like lunchtime. He's like, what's on? And he put on Berserk, and that I don't know the last time I had watched Disney Channel, years.
Yeah.
This was last summer, so years before that, and like it was okay. But like all the other shows that were on, I was like, I had no idea what any of this is. And like, yeah, I did kind of feel a little.
I was
bit.
like, wow, I like, because at least for years, like even in college, like maybe like my freshman and sophomore year, I at least knew shows, and like, you know, it would come on, and someone would be like, the fuck is that? And I'd be like, oh, it's this. I just knew.
Yeah.
And then like, it was kind of like a joke within my friend group, but I just knew everything about like weird kid shows.
Yeah.
And then like having that moment, like, wow, I actually don't know what the fuck is on right now. Like, this is kind of weird. Like, they always be like, how the fuck do you know this? I'm like, I don't know. I always blame Ben. Like, I have a little brother who watches this shit, but like, I also watch a lot of that shit. But like, you know, it was like, it was weird. It's just like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't tell you what's like 5 shows on Cartoon Network right now.
Yeah.
I can tell you that Teen Titans Go is on, and that's about it.
Well, yeah, that's different because like DC promotes that too.
Right.
But I'll say the same with Nickelodeon. Like whatever Dan Schneider's working on, I have no idea what it is.
Oh, I don't know. Is he on a show right now?
Yeah, I think he has like multiple shows, and I have no idea because like he'll post on YouTube sometimes like old like That's Only 101 sketch like 10 years later.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He posted that and he was like, watch, and then like whatever show was like, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's
because like you know Dan Schneider was great in like the early 2000s with Drake and Josh and all Amanda Show and like everything he did.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know. I didn't even know he had a show on right now. I thought he retired because I know they gave him that award at the Kids' Choice Awards.
And
I thought he retired after that.
I think he's like still going strong with like shows on Nickelodeon.
Wow,
I've never seen him.
I don't know. I know he had the one with Kel. It was like the video game making one, the Game Shakers or Game Changers or something.
I've never seen that.
And I saw a clip of the first episode because it had a couple of like YouTubers in it and people I watched. And they're like, I'm on the show if you want to watch it. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I'm like, this is a dumb show. But hey, look, there's Pro Jared, like whatever, like, and I was like, okay. But after that, I faded out of that, and like, I watched The Loud House a little bit, and I enjoyed that a lot. Now
I've never seen it. Yeah.
It's pretty funny, and it's not bad. I don't know where it's gonna go now. The guy was fired for sexual harassment, the creator of the show.
Oh, shit.
And the show is based on his life, from what I believe.
Oh wait,
so
did that happen like right when the pilot aired?
No, this happened like this year.
Oh, what was the show? Like a Nickelodeon show, like the guy who was running the show got in trouble like right when it came out. It was something weird. Oh, is there like an overweight kid who has a show on Nickelodeon? I don't know. Cartoon.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about.
Not Steven Universe.
No, it's the other one that's kind of like Clarence, but it's not Clarence. Oh. I forget I know what you're talking about though. Oh fuck, what is it? Because it just got canceled too, right?
I don't know. Maybe it is. It might have been Clarence?
No, it's not, because there was another show. There's another show coming out that's similar to Clarence, but it's not Clarence. I think it's like a black kid. I think it's like a black family.
I don't think maybe someone involved with Clarence got in trouble. Because Clarence has, you have like a weird voice?
Yeah.
And, okay, that might be it.
Yeah.
But
like,
yeah.
All the other kids have like weird shaped heads.
Yeah. But like the main theme here, like very much like not in touch with like all those channels.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Like, yeah, maybe with our age we shouldn't be, but it just feels weird.
It does feel weird. Like the only reason I've watched any of The Loud House is we went to, my family went to a wedding and we just left on Nickelodeon when we were getting ready for the wedding. And I was like, wow, this is actually really fun. They had like a couple episodes on and then we were leaving and the new Power Ranger season was coming on, and I was like, wow, it's like Ninja Steel, Ninja Storm, whatever it is. I was like, oh, this is so weird. And like one of the characters his morpher is a cheeseburger. He's a cowboy. I'm like, wow, that's really funny. Like that's so weird. Yeah, like,
that is weird.
It's just so weird. I'm so into this, but like I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, this is so weird. Like I just don't keep up with this stuff, and like I literally could not tell you like anything about the channels I grew up with and watched a bunch on. You know, like, and some of them aren't even bad. Like Loud House is pretty funny. Like, but I'm not caught up. I failed, completely fallen off the rails with fucking Adventure Time for like 4 years now. Like, I don't know anything.
Yeah, I never saw that. I'll say when it comes, I don't even know if they're like creating new Christmas content, but I'll say have you seen Prep and Landing?
No.
Came out when we were in high school. I think I was a freshman, you were a junior. Like, that's pretty solid. Like, because they don't create like many like original.
It was original Christmas
specials. Yeah, it was about like the elves who like prepped the houses for Santa before he got there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And yeah, it actually was. It's a very good one. I'd recommend it. It's called Prep and Landing.
Okay.
And I think there might have been a sequel too. But yeah, that's I'd like to see more of that, more original Christmas specials. Because besides that one, I can't think of any. Besides like Christmas episodes on shows, I can't think of any for like the past 20 years besides Olive and that one.
Yeah, I mean like,
well, I'm sure there are other ones, but like ones that are very different, like Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, based off like the song and all that.
The Night Before Christmas.
Yeah, like like Olive and Prep and Landing, I think, are great in a sense that it shows you can take you can make a take on Christmas and be original, and it can be good and people will enjoy it, and it doesn't have to be the stereotypical story revolved around Santa.
Right, yeah. No, that's a good. I never saw that. Actually, I should watch that because that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's an ABC one, so it might be on ABC in the near future, or you could just I'm sure find it online.
I can find anything.
Yeah.
That's a good. Okay, that's interesting. I did not know that was a thing. But yeah, you're right. I wish they would do more.
Because I'm very much into that. I love all things Christmas, so I would love.
I just wish, just those like little. Because I can remember that. I mean, at least I felt as a kid that maybe because I was more in touch, but like, I feel like that happened a lot more. Where you just had these weird Christmas specials that weren't attached to anything. They were just Christmas in nature, and I should. Oh, that's a good point. I mean, because when you think of it, like, I don't like Grandma Get Ran Over by a Reindeer like at all.
No, I don't.
And it's like weird and like super low budget, and like things don't move right, and like it's like half the. It's not even like I think it moves like 12 frames a second. It's so weird.
I mean, the only thing I liked about it was that Olive was like paired with that, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
like, that's what I liked. But yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think of original ones, and I can't.
I can't either. I honestly don't know if there's just none or if I'm just so out of touch.
Yeah, because I think Olive was like 98, 99.
Yeah,
Prep and Landing 09. Like between that,
I can't think of a single.
Because the ones I think of, like as we talked about, are from TV shows.
Yeah,
like
which are all
TV
real
shows,
good,
which are great. Yeah, but they're not like straight up Christmas special that is just created for Christmas. Like those shows continue on after. Christmas.
Yeah, right. What do you think of the Hey Arnold one?
Yeah, I remember watching it, but a lot of Hey Arnold didn't stick with me. Like I don't remember a lot of Hey Arnold.
I remember specific episodes because they're like the crazy emotional ones, but that's the one with the Vietnamese guy that lives in the house. His daughter disappeared during the Vietnam War or whatever battle was going on. Maybe he's Laos, I don't know, but like he's like from a Southeast Asian country, and he fled to America and has not seen his daughter since.
Oh my god.
And then she comes back at the end. It's all emotional stuff, but it's a really sad episode.
Wow.
It's like really hard to watch. It's like, oh, this is so depressing, this poor guy, because he's like, if you watch the show, he's just like a kind of a jolly little guy. And he's like they have a lot of everyone lives in their house is like very eccentric and interesting and weird and stuff like that. And then to find out this guy's backstory, like Jesus Christ, because he's very like he's a very happy guy for most of the show, but like it's tough to watch sometimes.
Oh yeah. I'll say when it comes to Hey Arnold, like Stoop Kid.
Yep.
The grandpa playing Chinese checkers.
Oh, that's a great episode. Yeah.
Gerald with his tonsils.
Yep.
Self-conscious about his voice, and then Gerald riding his bike in that big hill.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are some of the episodes that stuck with me, but not a lot has.
Do you remember
Dino Spumoni?
Yes.
Like him-centered episodes. I remember those.
Yes. I enjoyed that show a lot. I can remember.
I thought it was good. Definitely.
Like what was his name? Stinky or something? Grew the giant pumpkin.
Again, like that sounds familiar, but I can't.
And there was the weight loss cruise thing, where the one kid, the fat kid, was like, "I want to lose weight," and he just kept gaining weight. And then he was like, "Fuck, I'll just be fat forever." That's the moral of that story.
Wow.
There's the one where the one kid really wants to he's becomes a germ freak and fucking sterilizes his room and shit. And it's actually a really twisted episode.
Oh wow.
I did enjoy that show. I did not watch the movie that just came out.
Oh, is it out? The Jungle movie?
They just put it out. They put it out on just TV, and I was potentially. I didn't know it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Ben just happened to have Nickelodeon on, and they were advertising for it. I'm like, fuck, I kind of want to watch this. And then Ben was like, I have to go, do a Secret Santa shopping thing for school, around Thanksgiving. So he was home for a little bit. I'm like, all right, I guess I don't need to watch this. I'll just leave. So we went off to the mall and did that instead. But I'm curious because apparently it's the definitive end of the show.
I know his parents were involved in the story.
Yeah.
So maybe he finds them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're explorers or something.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where that goes. But
the thing is, when they bring back stuff like that, this is different. But when they brought back Legends of the Hidden Temple as a movie,
they did.
I thought that was just it's a live action movie. It's not like a game show at all. It's like these three kids, and they're like. They go on an adventure to in this hidden temple or something.
Are you fucking
I was like,
kidding
don't
me?
tease me. Bring back the...
Wait, so instead of just doing like a big blown out version of the game show,
It is a movie.
they did a narrative driven thing
Yes.
with the same name.
Yes.
I'm disgusted.
Because I like...
How did we talk about fucking Star Wars for 2 hours and not this garbage?
Because that is such a great game show.
That's a great show. Great game show.
Us growing up, like, we wanted to be on that show.
100%.
Us and, like, one of our friends just kick ass and, like, get the 3 pieces, put them together, go to space camp, or, like, whatever the prize
fucking
was.
Space camp for getting me that fucking xylophone.
Yeah,
Like,
we're just not getting last because we're only getting Nesquik if we get last.
Yeah.
And we're definitely getting past the first round.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I used to watch that with my friends, and we would bet on fucking who would win.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be like, I think purple's gonna win this time. I saw a guy in the green team shirt. I forgot what team that was, and I was like, was he in the show? Did he just keep the shirt? But like,
They started, like, selling
yeah, they started
them,
selling them. I was like, fuck. I was for a second there. It was like a theme park, so he was in line. I was like, oh my
Bro.
god, did he what? And I was so excited because I was like, yeah, I would also just keep the fucking shirt.
who wouldn't?
Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if it doesn't. Although, I have a shirt over here, like on my bed. That I wear to bed. It's still too big. I got in 2nd grade. It's a Dare shirt. I'm
wow.
still wearing.
I don't know what my Dare shirts are.
It's like about this size now on me, but it's a little bit long, and I'm like, how can I took it out yesterday, I put it on, I'm like, I got this in 2nd grade, and I'm still wearing this shirt. It's still together. It's not like even in tatters. It's just like it's. But yeah, I do the same thing with the Legend of the Hidden Temple shirt. I wear it all the time.
Guts, I would have kept that yellow helmet. I would have kept everything.
I loved Guts.
Guts is, like, if I...
Oh, that last challenge is so cool. The trophy was so sick.
What's it called? Oh, wait, no, what's it? The aggro crag.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and you got like a piece of it.
Yeah, you got a piece of it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, those 2 shows, I would love if they brought those back.
I would love it. I also really love Double Dare.
Double Dare, yeah, also great. Yeah, Nickelodeon, man. They had a lot of, like, great, like, different content besides, like, a stereotypical, like, kids channel. They had a lot of, like, outside the box stuff.
They had a couple shows too before we even like really started watching it. One was like a video game competition. It was like one of the first things of televised esports. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was like just kids played like arcade games and tried to beat each other. And it was like, I forget what it's called. And then there was another one too, because there was like back when there was Double Dare, because we watched Double Dare 2000.
Yeah.
There was another block of like game shows, and when Double Dare first came out.
What's the one with the word? Like, you have to, the kid has like a secret talent.
Oh my god.
And like the slime comes down.
Yes, that's my favorite one. Fuck, why can't I remember that all of a sudden?
It's
I'm just gonna look up fucking Nickelodeon game shows.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hurt myself. I don't
because
I hurt my brain.
like they would take like Nickelodeon actors and
Yes, so good.
They would ask this kid questions about like what his talent was, or, like what he said or whatever.
Yeah, right, and they show in the beginning they were like, my talent is
I can do this.
Yeah.
And if they said a certain word,
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. If they said like the certain word, like everyone would get slimed.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Yeah. They had like a buzzword.
Yeah.
Nick Arcade is the one I'm thinking of.
Nick Arcade. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so good. It was, oh god.
I felt like they went with interactive stuff early too, with like Pick Boy.
Yeah.
That? Like fans like picking stuff and like what content would. I don't know. I don't remember how exact, but I know like the fans played a role in like
how
certain
did they
stuff.
vote? That was like so early on.
Online,
I
think,
guess
like,
online, right?
Like what show would be on next or whatever like that.
I used to love You Pick Live. I'd go to school. We'd talk about it. I met Antonio, the guy who used to run the tape.
Okay.
I met him at a Mets game, and it was really weird. Like, it was in the height of it happening, and
like with Slime Time, like those 2 hosts, a guy and a girl, and like they had a crowd.
Yes.
And it's basically like Slime Time, shows would happen, and they like cut back to Slime Time. And then, like,
yeah. He was on You Pick Live.
Okay.
And he would run like they would the very first show. Basically, his job was they would because like every day. Did you watch You Pick Live? Am I explaining this like unnecessarily?
No, give me some more details.
So basically, you like we would vote. So basically, the show. So say it was Monday.
Yeah.
We voted from Friday to Sunday on 3 shows we wanted to watch. It was like which show got aired first? It was like Jimmy Neutron, Timmy or Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And we would vote, And then whatever would win, the two hosts would give a tape to Antonio, who was just this guy, and he would just run the tape to the room and put the tape in
and play that
episode for that show. It wasn't we didn't pick the episode, we just picked the show. And it was like that, and then they would cut back and they'd have a little interaction, shit like that. But I met that guy. Who ran the tapes. Yeah, we were at a Mets game, and everyone, it was in the height of it, so everyone was watching and talking about it, and it was like with Dare or something. So it was still like second grade, maybe it was fourth grade or fifth grade whenever you did it the second time.
Yeah, because I feel like Pick Boy would have been around that time too.
Yeah,
like
Pick Boy came from that.
Yeah.
And he, but yeah, we were all like, is that Antonio? Is that Antonio? Is that him? Could that be Antonio? I don't know. And then it was me and another friend one day. I'm like, excuse me, are you? He goes, yes, I am. I'm like, oh my God. And like, we all fucking, like, we never even said it too. So it's 100% possible that this guy was just like, fuck it. And just said yes and just had signed a bunch of baseballs for us. But I still have that baseball somewhere.
And it just says Antonio.
It says
somewhere.
Antonio, you pick, and then something else. And I was like, this is fucking sick. But
yeah, I feel like they really like embraced the fans' perspective, Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. Cause like at the same time, it was that after school thing, and then when that started to die down, Toonami and we started to pick up. Magusi replacing Toonami started to pick up. So like there was always that like after school thing to watch. That was fun. But yeah, I used to love like You Pick Live and Slime Time, stuff like that. That was fucking so cool. It was so fun. And then like I remember like transitioning into like just like, oh, I want Dragon Ball Z and like doing that stuff. But like, yeah, it's good times. Oh, I miss it so much.
Now, this is the holiday special, so let's just bring this back for like a final Christmas movies. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Some bad, some good.
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
My go-to. My personal favorite's Gremlins.
I just saw Gremlins for the first time.
Oh, really?
Over the summer with Courtney Sierra. Shout out to Courtney Sierra. Because I didn't know like the plot was centered around Christmas.
Yeah, he's a gift.
Yeah, so it was like over the summer, I was like, I've never seen Gremlins. And sure enough, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a cute twist on like, kind of a horror movie, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It still keeps that. A lot of people die in horrible ways, but it's fun.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably my favorite one. What's yours?
I'm partial to Elf. I know that's
really?
like a...
Okay.
That's like
Me and Ben were just talking about that. I'm tired of Elf.
That's like a basic bitch pick for Christmas movies. But I'm not those people who watch it like the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, yeah.
It's like once a year for me. I'll sit down and watch Elf because I just think it's again like very unique take on Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
And there's no like movie like it. It's not
definitely.
It's not like based in like family troubles around the holidays. Like there's so many of those movies.
Yeah.
Like he is a fish out of water raised in the North Pole who's
gets placed in our world as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, placed in our world with the mindset of mindset of a child, even though he's 30 years old.
Yeah.
And just doesn't know anything besides like making toys.
Yeah.
And just Will Ferrell is he's so good at making you root for him.
Oh yeah.
Like people could have been thrown into that role and you wouldn't have been as invested in as Buddy. Because forget like the humor aside, like there's a humanity to Buddy.
Oh yeah.
That
I
Will
don't
Ferrell
dislike the movie.
captures greatly.
I don't want to say like I dislike it. I'm just a little tired of it and like it being the quintessential Christmas film.
Yeah.
Cause like it's good. We actually just watched it when we put the tree together. And it turns out Angelina, Mike's girlfriend, the little girl who is like I saw it was Santa's sleigh. Yeah. That's her friend.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was her actual dad, and he's friends with, I guess, Jon Favreau, the guy who directed the movie.
Yeah.
And was like, yeah, I'll put you in the movie. So he's just in it as like a cameo.
Wow.
So I know someone tangentially that was in Elf, but
that's really cool.
Yes. But yeah, we just watched it. I'm like, this isn't the worst thing ever. I'm just a little tired of it. And actually, I was wrong. Gremlins isn't necessarily isn't my favorite. It's close second to Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, I do love Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's my actual favorite. Because that one just makes my eyeballs happy.
I know people are like, it's Halloween. Fuck you.
It is not
Christmas
a Halloween movie.
Is in the title. It is a Christmas movie.
The only thing that's Halloween is the first song.
Yeah. Max Landis had a poll, and I think more people said Halloween.
They're fucking monsters.
Yeah, they're wrong.
I couldn't. How could you be so wrong?
Yeah.
Like, how would you wake up every day and look yourself in the mirror and go,
is it
I'm
Nightmare
wrong?
Before Halloween? No, it's not.
No, it is not. The whole thing, except for the very first scene, is about Halloween. Everything after that is him learning about Christmas and making everything about Christmas.
He embraces Christmas.
Yes.
He wants to bring Christmas to his people.
He studies Christmas. Yes. It's all about Christmas. It's the best Christmas movie. Everyone else is crazy.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of my favorites. Actually, I'm trying to think of some others right now, and I can't like put it together.
Ben keeps talking about Krampus. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
Ben's a big fan
as
of
a
Krampus.
favorite, really, with Adam Scott.
Yeah, he
and,
seems to really like it. I've never seen it.
Very weird, like when it comes to tone. Like
Okay.
it's not a straight up horror, not a straight up comedy. Like there's like Krampus's like mutant gingerbread man attack at some point. That's kind of funny.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a weird one.
It
to
seems
say
weird.
the least. Yeah,
That's why I avoided it. I was like, that seems weird and dumb. so-
American Dad actually had a great Christmas episode when it comes to Krampus.
Oh, really?
Like how'd it go again? I'm trying to like Steve, Stan's son was just like being a little brat, and like he was told the story of Krampus, and it ends with like Krampus and Stan's dad dying, and they like
shit.
merge together, and like Stan's dad becomes Krampus at the end.
Whoa.
No, like American Dad's had a couple of pretty good Christmas specials, I'll say.
I feel like that and yeah, I've seen. No, I've never seen that one. I think I've seen one of them, and like it was not bad.
Yeah, there's also one when they like
remember
fight
what the-
Santa.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, when
Yes,
they have
that's
like
what I'm
basically like a gunfight with
Yes.
the Smith family versus Santa. That's a great
Yes,
episode.
that's the one I'm thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
could not figure out what the fuck happened in that one, but I know I've seen one. Yes, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, great specials from American Dad. And I'll say Family Guy too.
Yeah.
I think they what'd they do? They did the one when Brian came back. They brought Brian back with
Yes,
Stewie, like when
yes.
he saw himself buying a Christmas gift. He's like, wait a minute. And he steals like the time machine back,
Yes,
stuff like that.
yes.
Because I was wondering, like, how the hell are they going to bring back Brian?
I forgot about that
Yeah.
they killed Brian.
They killed Brian, and
I
like the
forgot
internet
all
blew
about
up.
that. Yeah.
And like it was only like a few weeks, and then the Christmas special happened, and
I
like they
forgot.
reset everything. But it was like
I forgot all
wow.
about that. That was a huge controversy.
Huge controversy.
Everyone
yeah.
was so upset. Wow, I forgot all about that. That was it's a good episode.
Yeah, and they exchanged gifts underneath the tree, and Stewie's looking at Brian like, oh, weirdly. He's like, why are you doing that? He's like, well, nothing, Brian. You're just a pretty neat guy. Because he's talking about like Brian's sacrifice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Brian says it to Stewie because like Stewie fades away because he resets the timeline.
Oh yeah.
And like he's what's happened to me? He's like, oh well, you don't exist anymore because I lived. And then Brian says to him, just looking at a pretty neat guy. He's like, well, stop doing that.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. Those two had a really good chemistry.
Oh, they're the best. I don't really watch Family Guy anymore, but
Yeah, me
those
neither.
episodes are the best episodes.
Yeah, those are really great.
Like when they have like the old like Hollywood
Yes,
like, intros.
yes.
It's for all the Stewie and Brian episodes.
Yeah.
I think that makes the show, their relationship.
Seth MacFarlane, who did get his start on Johnny Bravo.
Oh yeah, him and Butch Hartman.
yeah,
for the
yeah.
Fail Ad Parents.
Yeah. He just seems like such a genuine guy.
Oh yeah.
Just like really loves film, really loves comedy, and like apparently-
Music too.
Yeah, apparently the Orville's amazing.
I've only seen the first episode.
I've never seen it, but apparently
Yeah.
it's super great. It's like people are like, "Fuck Star Trek Discovery." The Orville is the true successor to Star Trek,
Oh.
and like he just cares. He just seems to really
It's getting
care.
a second season, I heard. So
Is it?
that's
It's
good, yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. I really actually kind of want to watch like A Million Ways to Die in the West and just watch other things he does because apparently, what he because I listened to one podcast with Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman,
Yeah.
and Ralph Garman's like a friend of his, and like Seth just puts him in stuff. He's like, I just want to help my friends out, and like, that's why like when you watch a lot of Seth MacFarlane stuff, you're like, why is this person in here? Like, who is this? And like, it's because he just likes hanging out with his friends and making cool shit. Like,
Giovanni Ribisi, the evil guy in Ted.
yeah.
That guy's in A Million Ways to Die in the West as well. Like, I think they're close friends or something.
Yeah, like he gives people voice work all the time on Family Guy and stuff. Like he just seems to want to like hang out with his friends, just make cool shit. I'm like, that's so fucking awesome. And like, yeah, now like the more I've like looked into Seth MacFarlane, I'm like, fuck, I just fucking really want to fucking do more. I want to support this guy as much as I can.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think like the peak Family Guy is better than peak American Dad, but I think American Dad is like consistently a solid show.
Oh, like I was talking to someone about just Seth MacFarlane's career because like when it was right when Ted came out and
Yeah.
Ted's amazing.
Oh yeah, I love Ted.
And I was like, fuck, Ted's so good. Why is Family Guy and American Dad just kind of like okay most of the time? It's like, they're like, he has 1,000
He
things.
spreads himself
Like,
so
if he
thin.
just focused onto one thing, he would be it would be the best thing ever. It'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
the funniest, absolute funniest thing. It'd be Ted 100% of the time. It's because he's doing 1,000 different projects at once. It's like, oh, it makes sense. He just doesn't have the creative energy to be at a 100%. He's doing a million things that are all great. just not amazing. Like, like they could be. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Fucking do it. Do everything you
Yeah,
do.
like Steve and Roger is comparable to Brian and Stewie.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Steve and Roger episodes are so great. And I think Stan, too, is such a great character.
I love Stan.
And obviously when he had that, American Dad, Family Guy, and Cleveland Show, and plus his like film work, obviously, like, that dude's fucking exhausted.
Oh, yeah, he's doing everything. Have you ever seen movie 43?
I have.
That one part with him is really good.
What I don't remember much. I tried to like block it out.
It's part of the it's part of the frame story, and like the guy who's trying to get his script read or whatever.
Oh, shit.
And they go into the office.
Yeah, it's like the main. Yeah.
Yeah, like the actual main story of this stupid fucking thing.
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane's in that office, and he's like, "Who is this guy?" Like, like it's he's actually really funny in that movie. That movie is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Movie 43.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it just that last part with like the cat just grossed me out so much. I just left a really sour taste in my mouth, and I was just like, I need to forget this movie.
Like, I know like the Gerard Butler thing where he's the gnome is pretty, or Leprechaun something's really dumb, but like the Balchinian thing or whatever with Hugh Jackman is really funny. The fucking the whole thing, which breaks my heart, is the Anna Faris Chris Pratt thing.
Oh yeah,
where they want to shit on him.
Anna Faris and Chris Pratt.
Oh, that scene, especially when I watched the first time knowing they were together, I'm like, just shit on me. You don't shit on your wife. You shit on a whore. Like, oh my God. It's so funny. I loved it so much. Like, it was, there's parts of that, they're just so well done. I'm like, okay, this is fine. And actually, the cat thing I don't mind that much, because I just love Elizabeth Banks. And I think she does. All about it.
Yeah, she's not directing this third Pitch Perfect, right?
Is she not?
I think she directed the first two.
She did direct the first two.
I'm not.
I've never seen the first two.
I've only seen the second one.
I really want to watch it.
It was like on demand when I didn't play it, but it was like on.
So I
sat down and watched it. It's okay.
I love Anna Kendrick, and I really just love her. I want to watch things she does.
No, she seems very genuine.
Yeah.
Like when she goes on talk shows, she just seems like a great person.
I love watching her talk show
that you would want to like hang out with.
I'm like, you just seem great. You just seem like such a great person.
Like,
is it her and Aubrey Plaza are friends?
Oh, I'm not sure.
There's a friend. I think it's her. I want to say it's Anna Kendrick, but it's like Aubrey Plaza is apparently a crazy person in real life too, where she'll just be like, "Do you want to go to Mexico?" And they're like, "Yeah, all right." And they'll just go to. I think it is Anna Kendrick. I don't keep Anna Faris. I think it is Anna Kendrick because like it's someone slightly more famous than her because she was telling a story where they were going to like Mexico or some crazy place, and the friend kept getting bothered, and she was like. She told the bodyguard that was with them to tell the fans, you wanted to see Anna Kendrick is upsetting Aubrey Plaza, so we please leave. And like just like create this whole like little fake narrative. Just that like and the best. I love those two so much.
Yeah, she was on the Tonight Show I think last night, and she was talking about how her apartment, her like hotel was on fire, and she's like, "It wasn't me, but I know what you're thinking. I am that bitch, so it could have been me." It was gold.
She's really good.
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick is so funny. She's oh god. Yeah, I used to watch like a bunch of like Conan just clips and stuff like that, and just watch interviews for fun. And like these are all just such a good time. They're just especially Anna Kendrick though. She's such a delight. I love her so much. Oh, and Aubrey Plaza. Love her too. Apparently she's really good in Legion. Or not Legion. Is it Legion? Legion.
I haven't seen Legion. That's the X-Men one.
Yeah.
Right?
Apparently she's really good in that.
Because there's that other X-Men one on Fox.
Not the Runaways.
The
Gifted. The Hulu one. The Gifted. That's what
I
it's
haven't
called.
seen that either.
I haven't either. Have not either. All right. Do you want to just talk about Johnny Bravo Christmas?
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, listeners, Johnny Bravo Christmas is
a masterpiece.
Yeah, a masterpiece, and maybe the greatest Christmas special. When it comes down to it.
I think so.
Maybe, Olive could beat it out, but when it comes to episodes, straight up, Johnny Bravo Christmas is the best.
It's top to bottom heart.
It's centered around Johnny forgets to mail his letters to Santa, and hijinks ensue. Donny Osmond gets involved.
And
honestly, I don't know what it is about it that all these years later, like, I still enjoy it.
I don't know
so
either.
much. And it's not like... And it's not, I don't think it's even nostalgia. It's legitimately interesting.
Yeah.
That, like, they're flying to the North Pole. This guy, like, just got his pilot license.
But that's the second half.
That's the second half.
There's a part where they're in a plane with a bunch of zoo animals. Then they're in a field. They get in a truck and, like, this. There's so much happening in this fucking show.
What's the code name for, like, the driver?
Oh, what is the code name?
And he thinks she's going to be, like, really attractive.
Yeah.
Because, Susie, the Girl Scout's like, this is Little Miss Thang. And reach around and clear, Little Miss Thang, this is Godzilla. And oh God, yeah, you're right.
There's so much that happens in that, and it's only like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's not that long, and yeah, but the pilot's great. Donnie's great.
Donnie's so good. I love how Donnie's a character in Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
And like,
that wasn't his first appearance.
No, it wasn't.
He had been in episodes.
When he shows up, he goes, "What are you like? What? No, get out of here!" Like Johnny is so annoyed that Donny Osmond is in his life, and it's so fucking funny. Oh, that show is so well done.
Yeah, and
that special just captivates all of it.
Yeah, I missed the show in a sense that it wasn't like straight up, a kid's show.
Yeah.
I think like obviously like Seth involved, like it was a show for everybody that just happened to be on a kids network.
Right. And I think that's always the best thing when it comes to kids cartoons, in quotes, kids cartoons, that are just, they're shows that are on kids networks.
Yeah.
And like there are scenes in like a lot of these kids shows that I've liked to watch a lot of times where they pull that off, where they want to say something like that, like the direction you assume is going to go somewhere. Like a lot of the Ren and Stimpy stuff.
Yeah.
Like they'll attempt something and then they go the other way and you're like, fuck, that was so much better. Like, yeah, it would have been like a good, haha, like that's so funny if they were able to say fuck or something. But the fact that they don't, and they find another way to craft the joke, I think actually really benefits it. And I think Johnny Bravo really is like a shining example of like, we can't say a lot of things.
I mean, the whole Johnny's trying to get laid. That's
it.
90% of the show.
Right.
And I think a perfect example of that is Wolverine on X-Men, the animated series in the 90s.
Okay.
Because the entire time, he's like trying to swear when he's like fighting these people. He's like, come here, you piece of gutter trash. And like, they were, because obviously in real life, Wolverine would be swearing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be like,
Yeah.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. He'd be swearing all the time. But they found a way to like work with this kid's cartoon and like, it didn't sound like stupid. It didn't sound like censored.
Right. And it still works with the character.
Yeah, they worked around it and it was like perfect.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff is really great. And like, oh, fucking, in Chowder, what's the guy, the big rock guy? What was his name?
I've only seen the show like once.
Oh, there's a character on there. So in the Chowder household, it's like Chowder, the old man, the woman, and then there's like I forget his name, but he just said like rada rada all the time. Like he was like a Chewbacca type thing. He was a big guy who just said the same shit over and over again. And they would do stuff where it was like he would just be talking, and they were like, you can't say, the swear jar's full, man. Like they like stuff like that where it's like you can't understand them. They do that stuff in the Star Wars and stuff where it's like they did that actually in this one. It was one of the better jokes in Last Jedi where Rey was like, tell Finn something when you see him, and R2 just goes boop, 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 and he goes, yeah, that works, and just leaves. And it's like, that's really good.
I like that
because we don't know what, like, I like when they do stuff like that and they can play with that stuff. And like they did that a lot in Chowder because this one character just said his name. I don't know if it's his name or something, but he said the same shit over and over again. It was like, this is really funny. They can play with like, or like sometimes he would say something and Chowder would be like, what does that mean? And he's like, I'll tell you when you're older. Like it's like stuff like that where it's like, I like the idea that there is a character that's really like foul mouthed and weird, but we can't understand it or something.
I mean, I liked that in Last Jedi with Chewbacca when Rey's leaving and Chewbacca says, whatever. And Rey's like, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Stuff like that is really good. And I like when they do that stuff. That warms my heart. Stuff like that is really fun to me. But yeah, Johnny Bravo is a phenomenal show.
Yeah, I think.
And that special is like just perfect.
Yeah, the special, because at the end of the day, it also has like a great message.
It really does.
His mom was so selfless in like her list to Santa, and he was so selfless. And
once he learns that, he's like, oh, you know what?
Giving his gifts to other kids.
Yeah, and then it all comes back. It's
they have what's the movie? It's a pretty famous Christmas movie. It's like it's I'll give you the moon, Mary.
Oh yeah,
like they have that scene when like the floor comes through and they fall into a pool.
Wait, no.
Like the kid is like Clarence the angel is in it. Every time a bell rings, angel gets
not
his
A
wings.
Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Is it Wonderful?
That's it.
Okay,
when everyone comes in at the end and like they give them the money to like get him out of debt.
Oh right, yeah.
That's what.
Yes.
The final Johnny Bravo scene is like reminiscent of that.
Right. Yeah.
I for the life of me, and I was like terribly describing it too.
I think I know. Okay, yeah. That. God, such a good. It's just like because the nice thing about that special is it's stupid Johnny Bravo like just shenanigans, just
Yeah,
goofiness.
it was like swimsuit models were on TV,
Yeah.
so he forgot
exactly,
about
right.
Yeah.
And then he's still hitting on the French girl, and he's being all goofy. Donny Osmond gets to show up. He gets to be grumpy and funny Johnny there, but then still have that Christmas heart and message at the end. It's like, oh, this
And
is,
like
this
it
is
didn't feel
wonderful.
forced.
No,
either.
it doesn't. It feels so natural, and
And like there's a great spectrum. Like we talked about the animals and like them wearing like the Scooby Doo outfits,
Yeah.
like trying to like he tries to be a fan to like blend in, and then the suitcases they have like the Scooby Doo outfits or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so much like involved in the special, and it's how do I put this? It's it's fucking great. I don't even know what to
so
say.
good.
Yeah.
That whole the nice thing about Johnny Bravo is it does really love the Hanna-Barbera era.
Oh yeah, they had like crossovers with the Scooby Doo characters.
And I just you can tell that that show was made by people who grew up on cartoons, loved them, and just enjoyed that whole thing forever. And it's oh, this is so well done. Everything is so good about this. Johnny Bravo Christmas, #1 Christmas special. Should we wrap up?
I think we should wrap up.
All right, we should wrap up. Do you want to plug anything while we're here?
On Twitter at Jason R. Lang, and if you're in Boston, I'll be there starting in January for my final round, my final semester.
Well, good luck with that. I hope you have another good year.
Thank you.
I hope you fucking get your script. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Wait, which one?
The New Girl one.
Oh yeah,
that one
yeah.
takes
I
off.
really hope I get into the program.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That'll be awesome.
That would be really, really good for you. That's fucking awesome. But I guess with this episode 30.
Episode 30.
Big
Thanks
Christmas
for
episode.
listening.
Thanks for listening.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas,
And love and kisses.